Good evening, everyone. This is the Chaos Agents. My name is Thomas, and I will be your keeper for this evening. Instead of your dungeon master, and instead of the usual Thomas, you have me this evening. We're in the midst of a 3-part one-shot, and maybe it'll be 4 parts. I'm hoping for 3. So we've been doing it, in case you've been out of the loop, we've been doing a little story, a Call of Cthulhu story set in the future, set in outer space. A story I like to call Arc 105. And our players here, the Chaos Agents, have all made up new characters specifically for this particular story. We're in the 3rd episode of the story, and hopefully starting the 3rd act of the story, and we will see how things wind down this evening. I've been told that your usual dungeon master, the other Thomas, not to be confused with this Thomas, it should be free next week. So if we do happen to wrap up this amazing story tonight, we'll be right back to where the cliffhanger was, where he left you guys off in a big fight that was happening. So we'll pick that story right up again. Assuming, of course, we wrap this thing up, and fingers crossed. So before I get into the recap, I'll give you guys a little bit of information, brief information. I've done this before, so I don't want to beat a dead horse, but this is Call of Cthulhu. This is not Dungeons and Dragons, different systems. What you need to know, and as the audience member, is we're not rolling D20s. We are rolling a percentile dice. We're rolling on a scale from 1 to 100. So we have 2 10-sided dice. One's the 10s, one's the 1s. They give us numbers, and we just compare that against our character's stats. So whatever stat they're trying to match, if it's a dodge, if it's a firearm, a climb, a repair roll, whatever, they've got a skill. And we just roll the dice, meet the skill, go under, they're successful. Otherwise, they're not. There's a few other things that we'll deal with as well. Hit points, sanity, and whatnot. And we'll get to those as the story goes on. So before I give a recap of the story, as everyone's kind of wandering in, we always like to do our announcements, right up front. So let's get that stuff out of the way. What you guys need to know as far as Quests and Chaos goes is we have a pretty, no big surprises this week. This weekend, we're doing a Cthulhu game, Masks of Nyarlathotep, which Ezra Denny has been doing now for God knows how long. One of our members actually figured it out for us on the Discord that I believe that game started last year, some year called 2019. And it was, correct me if I'm wrong, Tiana, I think it was like in April or May of 2019?
So it started in, I think, March actually of 2019, and then ran, the first chunk of it was until about May. And then we had the summer hiatus and came back with the new cast September.
And every single Saturday, 6 p.m., the Great Dane Society has been going through the Masks of Nyarlathotep, which is a very, very, very famous campaign that everyone who likes Call of Cthulhu just loves this story. Ezra loves this story. He's invested quite a bit of money into a lot of great props that we don't get to use anymore. That we're on Discord, now that we're on Zoom, he's got these maps and props and letters and items to show us that it's on a computer screen.
I remember that from when we were allowed to watch in the studio. It was like a D&D map, but it had like different, options for what you chose.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and he's got all sorts of great props. And to make it, we have some fans that actually made us additional props for the show, which is amazing stuff. So we've got other items and things that were created as part of the story. Anyhow, that's Saturday, 6 p.m., the Great Dane Society with Masks of Nyarlathotep. Then Monday, the start of next week, which will happen next week, whenever next week happens, in this crazy world we're in. Aaron is back and still going strong with the Rick and Morty versus D&D show. So they'll be back again. And then Tuesday, back here with the Chaos Agents once more, it'll be Thomas either DMing or being the keeper. And we will see how that works out. So we also like to cover our sponsors really fast. We like to give a shout out to Nord Games, one of our great sponsors, Gordon Biersch Beer, who gives Thomas and Amy lots of beer. And maybe Tiana picks up a couple if she's at the studio. And I understand she's been actually snuck off to the studio once or twice the last couple of weeks.
Broken quarantine.
Snuck off is such a dirty word.
And there's more coming. There's some stuff in the works that Tiana can tell you about when it's official.
Official.
So what? What is that?
Find out.
All right.
As soon as we know. We'll tell
We
you.
don't keep secrets in this family, okay?
The hell we don't.
Spoilers.
Lastly, we'd like to thank Birds of Paradise, who provide several members of our gaming community with great dice. I know that Ezra loves to brag about his. He loves them. Deanna's got about 1 million different pairs.
I do.
I've got one pair I got as a Christmas gift, actually. Andrea gave a whole bunch of us all Birds of Paradise as a Christmas gift, which was amazing. We love those. So they're a sponsor of ours. Any of the sponsors, you can actually, in our chat channel, you can do a little exclamation point command. I'm sure someone in chat will show you how to do it. And it's information on the codes you can use, the discounts you can use, etc. Great stuff. So should we do the recap now, or should we see how we're doing on inspiration?
Aaron totally missed some cues there. When you said space, he didn't use his space modulator.
Oh, I gotta hear this.
All right. Well,
Cthulhu in space.
with the DM's permission, tonight we got
Cthulhu in space.
That was good. I like that.
Nice.
the lowering.
Well done.
I'm just very impressed by your range. Well,
I got to get it checked by a doctor. It's not healthy.
You got a couple more effects on there, right?
No.
Oh, that's good.
I mean, that's what I got to preset them right now. We could go through here.
Cthulhu. Nope.
Cthulhu in space.
Yeah.
Cthulhu in space.
That's what I was looking
That's the
for.
one.
That's the one I like.
That's what I was looking for.
That's what we
I
need.
love it.
It's just in space. That's it.
This
Aaron.
next one fits better.
Cthulhu in space, everybody. Coming at you live. Okay, I'm done.
All right, so before the recap, let's cover the inspiration, assuming we've got anyone helping our players out. Our players in this game will be using inspiration for a single reroll. So it's a reroll of the dice. You can't add numbers or subtract numbers from your dice. We can use luck for that. But so it will use your inspiration to give them rerolls. You can also give me inspiration. So if I don't like my dice, I'll try to roll something worse. You know, I will definitely use your inspiration to make things worse for these players if you'd like me to. That's always an option. So how should we see? How are we doing with those, or should we wait on those for later?
I haven't been tracking. Has anybody?
I'm looking around. I don't see any bits popping up.
I
know
saw
that
some from,
Seth
I think,
did.
Seth. Yeah.
I am wrong.
So who did Seth provide bits to?
To the alien who was pretending to be Cass, i.e. Tiana.
I like that fan theory. That's a good theory.
It's an interesting theory. How many bits is that?
500.
Thank you.
All right.
So quiet
And
ones.
specifically for Cass Vega only to use.
That's not how that worked.
That's all right. I am a generous pod person. I'll share them with the rest of my crew.
All right. As other ones come up, just give it a shout out. So I'll
All
pick
right.
up. Let's
We
do
got
this.
2 more here. 500 from LD Brat 1, who gave it 500 for the players. And then Duke Fleeg, who was giving us another 500 to the players.
Excellent.
Thank
Your
you.
Grace?
I think
Thank you
tonight,
both.
tonight you'll be needing it.
All
All right. So to kind of recap where we are, our 3 colonists and 1 crew member are all in space on a colony ship called Arc 105. They were woken up prematurely with a lot of different problems on the ship that they need to fix, of course, before things got a lot worse. And they've been exploring the ship and uncovering what had happened while they were asleep. When we left off last week, Cass Vega was in the midst of repairing the navigation computer when they, by studying the computer, they remembered something horrible. Their memory was jogged in the process of making that repair. Cass had a horrible vision, and then we cut the story at that moment. So we're going to pick things up right now. Let's get right into the story. We're inside the bridge, and the bridge on this ship is this is a ship that is being flown by a computer. So there is a minimally functional bridge. So if humans have to use it, there's a couple of computers terminals. It's all touchscreen, but this isn't like you would imagine in a typical starship. There's not chairs. There's not windows even. The entire bridge is enclosed with walls. just some screens and some computer systems and things stored in here for minimal bridge activity of the whole ship, mind you. But it's just functional. It's bare functionality. There was a hole that was punctured in one of the walls of the bridge that they repaired in the last episode. They also found the riveting device that was used to make that puncture. So I think one of the characters has that riveter. Maybe that is John Ralphio Macchio or somebody else.
It's not me.
Could be John Ralphio Macchio.
He seems like the sort to hold on to that sort of thing.
We can mark that as John Ralphio Macchio's riveter. It's got a battery pack that's empty, but these are these are like today where we got the battery packs that are interchangeable. You find it anywhere else in the ship and just replace it. Should be pretty easy to find another one of those. And where we left off, though, Cass was in the process of just taking off the terminal for the navigational computer that you guys are going to replace with another one to get it functional. And when Cass had a breakdown. The four of you are inside this bridge. We're still in zero gravity. The room was recently evacuated into vacuum. I imagine the four of you are still in your suits with your helmets on. Otherwise, you'd be in trouble. At some point, of course, the ship will fix, the life support system will, of course, repressurize everything. It's in the process of going. But you're all in your suits. You're in 0G. Cass is working on this computer. The other three of you are there observing things when Cass freaks out. And we'll begin our scene here. All right, Cass, you had that horrible memory.
So I'm
recounted, or do you remember it from last week?
I was going to say I remember most of it, I think, but it's also been a week in quarantine. If I remember correctly, Boss was smashing the computer panel with her fist and turned around to Andy shooting her with the rivet gun.
One thing about these memories is it's a jumble of images and emotions. But because a week in quarantine is like 4 weeks in the real world, so I'm not going to make you recount everything. But yeah, Cass does remember seeing Mother violently smashing that computer screen, and hearing screaming and other people around Cass saying things to Mother. Mother's responding. There was the rivet gun was fired. It was fired not by Andy, but by Peter was the one holding that rivet gun.
Okay.
And Cass also remembers Mother's arm, Boss, you'll call her, being detached and flying off. And of course, seeming to come to life as it touched the side of the ship.
Oh, I didn't remember that part at all.
The arm says squirming about and moving, and when it touches the side of the bridge, it grabs it and begins to kind of move itself down the side of the wall.
So yeah,
there's blood spraying everywhere and small mist and pellets and floating in the 0G like spraying out, and beautiful little tiny globules, tiny little orbiting red balls. And that's the image that Cass remembers. Cass stops the repair work, and perhaps you can't really slump to the ground in the 0G environment.
But like curl over into myself, just like holding the side of my helmet on both sides, just like, what the hell? What the hell?
Chess just kind of looks to everybody else.
Oh.
Are you all right, Cass?
There was a fight here. This is where her arm was detached. And I'm still like facing away from everyone, just like trying to process.
You were
Did
here.
your log pull that up?
No, I remember, but I don't remember. I don't know.
All right. Okay. Just calm down. It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be just fine. You're gonna be just fine. All right. He's gonna try, and I'm gonna try and move around the front side of you. Are you still turned to us?
Yeah, I'm turned away from you guys. But I'm not like moving to stay turned away as you come around.
Chess looks to Dr. Torrance and mouths very deliberately but quietly, cabin fever. Crazy. She's lost it.
I see that. It's okay, Cass. I'm so sorry that you went through that. Are you able to proceed? We have to focus. The reactor is leaking, as I remember. The nuclear reactor.
There's a lot of things going wrong at the moment. It's just a lot. When I look at this thing, I can see what happened, and mission first. The mission. Yes. Yeah. Just give me a second, maybe.
Take your time. I turn and I look at John Ralphio Macchio and try and go to a private channel for him.
It's a switch, a click, and you're able to do that. So you got it.
John, if she's losing it, do you think you can fix this ship?
You're just gonna see a nod from the helmet, but like, then he's gonna pound his chest. He's gonna really just a little bit.
I switch over to Chess and I go, I don't think John can fix this ship without her.
And Chess goes, well, I mean, I don't know at this distance, but I think we're close to our destination. There might be one other person who we can wake up, if I remember correctly, in case of maybe needing to subdue Cass.
I think the people were out and about, right? So, what was his name? I don't know. There was Boss and
Andy,
the dead one outside, Andy,
and the other one.
One more we know nothing about. Okay, sounds good. Let's switch back.
And in this time, Cass has taken a second to reorient themselves and just like stare down at the broken navigation panel floating in front of them, and just like snatch it up and use it. Use a foot against the panel next to me to turn myself around in a surprisingly graceful pirouette.
Cass is able to remove that panel pretty easily. Do the quick pirouette with their zero-G expertise. Cass is holding the broken panel. You need a replacement. Basically, it's a pretty easy plug and play sort of situation. The replacements are in the habitation ring, where everything else that you probably need would be located as well.
Which ring was it that we saw had all the tombs with errors?
You recall that being the third of the column rings.
Okay.
So I suppose we should decide whether it's more. Is it better to get this fixed right now, or do we go and deal with the habitation ring, or do we deal with the engine? It's all breaking.
Yeah, the thing that's about to cripple us and our whole travel. I say the engine. I that's my vote.
Well, how long would it take to fix what we have staring in front of us?
Almost no time at all, but it will take a little bit of time to go into the habitation ring and find what I'm looking for out of the electronic shop, and then bring it back and plug it back in. So
there were all those plants in the habitation ring, correct?
Also, Jess, if you can give me a roll on your character's intelligence.
Intelligence, I have 80 up there. All right.
Just quick roll, it should be fine.
Not so quick. I gotta launch the thing again. What's quicker, launching this or like running across the room and grabbing my bag of dice? We'll see. Aaron, tell a joke.
I could always do.
There once was a man from Nantucket.
I got it. All right. 120. All right. I rolled a 10. That is below my 16. So I think that's a critical success.
Yeah, I mean, chess is aware, of course, of conservation of movement and space. The engines get you go into a certain speed, you're going to maintain that speed.
Yep. Okay.
So while the nuclear engine leaking is a problem with radiation poisoning, the ship's moving. It's been moving for quite some time. So, so that's not a pressing issue as much as other things might be.
So yeah, he basically explains that, and he says we're going in the right direction, or at least close to it. We probably need to concern ourselves with the engine when we get closer to entering the atmosphere of this planet. But for now, I think it can wait.
That's a fair point. So then do we go and deal with the habitation ring where all of the errors are?
I believe that was actually the third ring, not the habitation ring.
No, that's where the colonists are, though, isn't it? The third ring where the colonists are.
Yeah.
And Cass would also remember there's a problem with the life support, which is also kind of Cass's thing.
That's my thing.
Okay.
So
we're good.
Chess pulls out his journal, and he asks Cass about all the things in the trademarks, and he's taking notes as you're talking, with probably the perceived intention of like, if anything should befall you, I have a to-do list of what needs to be done. Yeah.
Sure.
So,
and
what does that piece look like again?
Yeah, and Cass will explain as much as they can about because like a lot of what they know is, I know what this thing looks like. Explaining it is a lot more difficult. So that's going to take some time to get down the information that you need.
Yeah.
So where does Cass want to go? And is the group going together, or are we going to split the party?
I think we die if we split apart.
Very probably.
And I also vote, I still am going to say, if they're my dying thoughts, we should go to the engine, because you don't want to deal with that last second as you're entering an atmosphere. But if I'm outvoted.
Well, and Jess was saying that the red star that we're approaching, it's not like we're going to arrive there in the next 12 hours or anything. We should have time, hopefully, to deal with all of the problems and then the engine well before we hit atmosphere.
What concerns me is the number of tombs that seem to have had issues. I think if I was to put it into some kind of order, life support would probably be first. We need to make sure that the ship is safe for not just us, but all the other passengers. And then after that, perhaps the leaking radiation, which is another imminent threat to all the humans here, would be the next one. And then perhaps, what is it? Navigation here, which is easy.
Navigation is easy and not immediately pressing, I think.
And anything else?
So does the decoupling that's happening in the colonist ring, is that having to do with life support, or is that something separate? You said something about decoupling.
The ship said corruption. The word the ship used. That's all you know.
There's some sort of corruption going on in the colonist ring, and that concerns me a lot. So I think that should be the first order of operations, is going and finding out what in the name of the gods is going on with that ring.
I have a question.
I may have an answer.
Mainly it's for Chess, if I may.
Perks up a little bit. Yeah, stops writing. Yeah.
What we found in the magnetic field generator room is clearly not of Earth origin.
That's probable. That's more than likely the case.
Do you think it's possible there is an alien influence at work here?
Oh,
you said there were glyphs on it, right?
Deliberate in carvings that seem to represent some pattern that I would translate to speech of some kind. Glyphs is magic, but similarly, any foreign technology we don't really know will appear as magic, so it might as well be. I don't want to. I'm looking for microbial life, intelligent life. Man,
this is clearly an example of it.
Yeah. Not that an alien object interacted with our ship, but is manipulating the ship in some way is not a leap I'm prepared to make.
Cass, you knew Boss the best.
Hmm?
Do you have any idea what would set them off like that?
Crazed. Her eyes were mad. Something set her off, and everyone was trying to stop her. And they couldn't. We couldn't. And Peter shot her. And then her arm came off and started crawling.
Chess then shoots him another look.
I'm not insane. I don't know why I'm seeing these things. I don't know why I'm remembering these things.
It's
but
okay.
so far, everything that I have said has been pretty accurate. You saw the glowing on that thing too.
And we did see an arm, severed arm with foliage growing out of it.
Maybe my brain is trying to make sense of what I saw, and some of the things didn't happen, but it's the closest that my brain can come to understanding all of the mess. But don't look at me like I'm insane, because that's not fair.
So quick note, Cass was in the room with that arm, but no one else was in that room.
That's true.
Listen, I'm not gonna call anyone out for being insane. I'm just here to understand, and if you're lying, why would you be lying about something so insane?
What would I possibly gain from that kind of a lie?
Of course, exactly. I don't even understand the inner machinations of trying to make something that crazy out of nowhere. But I think you can just, we're on the same page, is what I'm trying to say.
As far as what might have driven her to something like that, I don't know. I've seen her angry before, but this wasn't angry. This was insanity. Like she wasn't there anymore behind her eyes. And I don't know what could have caused that.
I take a moment and let out a slow exhale. I've seen that look before.
Go on.
Are you okay?
I never wanted to see it again. Let's leave it alone for now, but let's see your eyes, Cass.
And I'll turn and look at him. We have atmosphere in this room now, right? Because we dealt with the thing.
The ship's doing its best. Probably at this point, it's mostly filled. The ship's busy repumping, but you're on your suits. So as far as you can tell, you can't tell.
You
have a helmet, and then Dr. Stanley also has a helmet as well. So,
but the suit should have some sort of a reader to tell me whether or not the air is safe around me.
It does. The HUD's got a display you can check.
Okay. Is the air safe to breathe at the moment?
It's safe, but it's got a caution light. The yellow caution is indicating that it's safe-ish.
Safe-ish. Okay. Then I'll reach up and pop my helmet off and pull it off and just like look at him my eyes wide.
So Cass, it feels like you're at a high altitude or like high up in elevation, it feels like, but you can breathe, but it's air's really thin.
Yeah, I think I would have taken a deep breath before taking the helmet off, just and hold it while I just look at him.
I want to look at her eyes and see how crazy she look. Or them, sorry, yes, thank you. I want to look in their eyes and see how crazy they look.
Cass, roll power for me.
Okay. That is a 48, made it.
Okay. Cass is just, you got control, steely, confident. They're still retaining. So you can go ahead and roll, but you're still retaining yourself. You haven't lost it as far as your appearance goes.
They look fine to me. As I said, I would know. So that settles that.
On, twist it back into place.
First up, Do we go for life support, and then I think after that go to the third ring with the colonists?
There sounds like a lot of problems here that need to be attacked. So let's go to life support and see if we can find out what happened to them and maybe think about waking some people up.
What do you think, John?
The ring first and then life support, or life support then the ring?
Life support.
Life support.
All right.
So for Cass's purposes, life support, of course, it's pretty extensive.
Yeah.
And there could be lots of problems throughout the ship, but the main console and then the main filters, well, there's filters all over, but the main controls are in the center of the ship.
Okay.
Most of the generators are in the center of the ship as well. So that's where you'd want to go first as part of your troubleshooting procedure.
Okay. So I will.
Basically, it's not far from the bridge at all. It's actually pretty close, right in the middle of the ship.
Okay. So I will take the navigation panel and open the duffel that I had the hull repair system in, and slip that inside so I have it ready when I'm ready to trade out the panels. The main life support area is in the center of the ship. It's not far from here. Come on, let's go.
All right. And he walks past Dr. Torrance and just kind of, you're going to have to tell me what that was about at some point.
Right, so Cass, you'll open up the door from the bridge to the main. There's a change in air pressure, you notice, but it regulates itself pretty quickly. And by opening this room, you probably sped up the process of repressurizing and getting the air going in the bridge. In any case, you float in, the others come behind you. Awkwardly, of course, those that don't have any zero-G training, mostly just hand over hand, along with grabbing things on the side of the ship. Cass, it's maybe another 50 yards to where the console is.
Okay.
Yeah, I should go meters. It's meters in our future world. About 50 meters towards the middle of the ship, where the main console is for the life support. You touch the numbers on the pad, it lights up, indicating that the error it's reading is in the filters. And it notes where the filters are on the little diagram, and it's really close to where you are. Somewhere low in the center of the ship, maybe a good 15 meters further in towards the rear. So I imagine Cass just bounces over there, or?
Yeah, if I know where there are filters cached nearby, I would bounce over, grab the good filters and pull them over and start changing them out.
The good filters, the replacement filters, are in the habitation ring with all the other spare parts.
Of course they are. All right, so I'll go over and open up the panel just to see what I'm working with, like how many filters I'll need to get and things like that.
On the ship of this size, for the length of the voyage, there's a lot of redundancy, and it's got a lot of extra filter going on. So it shouldn't really need to be changed mid-voyage. Design-wise, this shouldn't be a problem. It's over-engineered for the length of this voyage. But there's something wrong with it. So, of course, Cass opens it up. It's a quick 4 latches, 4 twists. The panel comes right off. What Cass sees and what the group sees as they're kind of hovering nearby is inside the filters it's a mess. There's a lot of darker, small material, maybe plant life or dust or mold or spores or whatnot. But what you really see, what really stands out to you, is a lot of blood. There's a lot of red, congealed blood that is cold and dried in a state looks maybe aged. Some of it looks like it's still fresh. It looks like it's more life to it, or kind of moving around and bubbling a little bit as the air filters are moving. And it's a mess inside this very large filter panel that you just opened up.
Chess
Oh,
kind of that's definitely not normal, right?
Having blood in a filter is a little bit counterintuitive, counterproductive, perhaps.
Is that all you see in there? No body?
Can I borrow your pen light again? And I'll take it from him. And I want to like shine it around to see if I can see the source of all that blood. Was it? I'm trying to figure out what happened here.
Cass, as you shine that pen light over the blood and the mess and the gore, it begins to kind of bubble and pop or rise or undulate a bit in response to the light. It seems to look like there's air flowing the wrong direction. The strange bubbles and little lumps are forming. It seems to be congealing or moving or settling or adjusting or somehow responding in a strange way as the light approaches it.
Are you seeing this?
I can't look away.
Well, let me do an experiment, if you
Sure.
don't mind.
Not at all.
Kind of go over there and turn on the outside flashlight from my
Your
suit
helmet.
in there, from the helmet, and see how they react to a strong light coming in.
The light hits the mess, the assorted mess. It's the dirty, filthy, grimy blood. Immediately what happens after the light hits it? It kind of bubbles up and seems to almost rise up like if you're watching dough rise in fast motion, coming up, and then it comes off of the filter like a ball suspended in space. Little bits of little nodules or tendrils or spires or links of blood ooze in different directions in a zero-G environment, almost like coming in, coming out, almost like it's feeling around as it floats up and up and up towards the light.
Now, do I get the sense that it's able to change where it is in zero-G? Like it has some way to travel without pushing off of something and whatnot?
It's hard to say, but it is floating towards the doctor's helmet at this moment.
May I see the light, Cass?
Yeah. And I'll hand it to him.
I will turn off the helmet and hit the light and see if it moves towards it.
The large kind of globule of floating plasma and blood and ick and gore moves around in space, undulates a bit, and then seems to be motioning or enlarging or contracting in the direction of the light. However, it doesn't appear to have any special propulsion system. It's still floating in the same direction that it originally came from, right towards the doctor's helmet.
Really quickly, I just want to get to this because a bit of time has passed. 500 bits, I assume, to the players from Malcolm X Cav, because there was no attribution. We're going to assume it's to the players. So 500 bits to be used by the 3 characters who aren't secretly evil by Braden 5 Ash. I guess that goes
Hold
to us.
on now.
I'm just a New Yorker.
Jay Matthews 85 slid 500 bits to kill them. Thomas, kill them all. So I guess that goes
shocking. No one. Anyone who knows
team.
Jay Matthews 85, he always sides with the keepers.
That's a pretty level-headed answer for him.
Lonely Yeti
Take it.
with 500 bits also to the DM. But Lonely Yeti gave us 400 bits to that. LD Brat rounds it out with 100 bits to give to us. So 500 total to the players.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And no nukes for Samuel.
No nukes for Samuel. 500 bits not attributed. So I assume players.
Or do you say no nukes?
No nukes.
I thought you said
no
nudes. I thought
No
it was nudes.
Samuel, send no. I'm sorry.
Sorry, Samuel. No nudes.
I apologize.
Sorry, mate.
Action, no. So that rounds off our bits. Yeah, let me know if I missed you in the chat. If so, apologize. I've just been kind of stuck in mental visualization mode as the globule is heading towards the doctor.
So Dr. Torrance, I'd like you to roll your 0G skill for me to maneuver yourself away from this thing.
Okay. Let's see here. 0G should be a 45, but let me double check. It is a 45. So let's see how it goes. Let's see how it goes. Nope. Okay.
Did it go?
Oh. Oof. 64. Oof.
All right. Do you guys want to inspire that, or let's just see what happens?
Yeah, I'll do it. I'll second it.
Sure.
An inspo.
All right. Thank you.
Seconded, thirded, written in stone.
44. Just make it.
There we go.
Excellent.
Just make it.
All right, Doctor, go ahead and describe what motion you want to carry out.
As it's moving towards me, I just kind of am I holding on to anything?
Probably.
Yeah. So I just kind of want to swing myself this way while it's coming at me, so my head gets out of the way first, since that's where it was headed, and just try and watch with the light on it to see what it does.
It floats past, but it almost seems like the little tendrils reach towards you as it goes past you. small little protrusions from this ball of what appears to be blood and other ichor. And it floats past the doctor's helmet, moving slowly towards the other side of this very large central chamber.
So, sorry, Chess, are you a doctor at all?
No, unfortunately.
Okay. Well, we can talk about your career path later. But for now, Chess, wouldn't you say that exhibits signs of life, of self-awareness?
Which is a great moment for me to remind, or to be reminded by the players, that this is one of those situations where we might want to check our sanity.
Oh, God.
Something unusual, such as this.
I'm so glad I'm not the only one who has to.
So the whole party viewing this strange occurrence, give me a sanity roll. You're looking to roll underneath your sanity rating. Let me know.
37,
So
60.
I roll 1d100, yeah?
Right.
And I try to get under it. Come on, you bastard. 37.
Nice. I got a 20. Half
So
of
if
my
one
favorite.
dice is 0-0, the other one's 5.
Oh, that's
good.
great.
Oh,
That's awesome.
That's amazing.
You got not 5.
Sweet.
And the doctor.
37, which
Okay.
passes.
Everyone, this is an odd, unusual occurrence, but no one is too freaked out by what they've seen so far. So nobody loses any sanity points at this point.
I just
It
go,
continues to float
"That's
across the chamber.
It might indicate some sentience.
It reminds me of the plants, the way that they move toward the light.
Yes. Awareness outside. What is it?
At least driven by a stimulant of some kind.
We don't know if this is like a Venus flytrap situation. Is the light off? Because maybe we should turn it off and stop getting their attention directly on us four. Just gonna...
Well, hold on. Did that clear out the filter?
I'll look to see if that's the case.
I'm gonna check and see. It's the error light still indicated.
Okay, so when I look inside again, there's still like blood and gore and stuff in there.
This filter is kind of in a weird shape, but the computer's telling you that it's insufficient. More work needs to be done than just this one panel.
But
Okay.
okay,
But there's no longer a blockage or anything here.
so this one looks like it's clear. Like all of the blood is now currently floating across the room.
Yeah, this one.
Oh no. Well, this one's fine. Well,
There's
fine.
a couple others nearby.
I'm going to push myself over to the next one and pop it open.
Should we expect this behavior, you think, from each of these filters you pop open?
Cass, you see a similar sight in the very next filter, just 2 or 3 meters down. It is a messy gore filled with this ichor, this blood and other fluids, halfway congealed, some dried, some pustulating, some moving a bit, not entirely dried or frozen yet.
Okay. I know life support systems. That's my specialty. That's my focus. Where would it be taking things in from on the other side? Where's the intake?
These filters are right next to the intakes. This is the intake. This thing you're popping out is where it's coming from. Then it goes into the system, is just delivered out elsewhere. So this is the intake. This came from somewhere nearby.
So it's pulling, I mean, not air in from outer space, but it's pulling something from outer space and converting it into what we need.
It's circulating air throughout the ship and cleaning the air, and it caught all this stuff in these filters.
Okay, but is the intake pointed like directly out into outer space? Like, do I think there's a body laying on the side of the ship that's being turned into this?
Oh no, yeah. Your training tells you that this mess came from where you're standing. Where this room, this chamber, at some point, this stuff was in the air.
So Chess asks out loud, is this what's being pumped into the habitation pods of the other colonizers?
I think that I would know. The filters would be strong enough to like catch and hold this stuff so it wouldn't pump the air into it.
You want to examine the filters further?
No, but yes.
I was laughing at the like to put an air intake valve on the outside of a spaceship. Like that doesn't.
I mean, I'm trying to figure out where exactly this might be coming from. Like, is it pulling air from somewhere else, or is it like re-cleaning everything that's inside?
Yeah.
Because
I had to pause. I was like, wait, that wouldn't work. Yeah.
Cass knows this stuff. I, the player, do not.
Yeah, so Cass would know that it's taking air from the central tube. That's
Okay.
and then that air went into these filters, and then from there it goes into the vents that go different parts of the ship, and it's expended in other parts of the ship, and then the natural motion of the air brings it to this collector, and cycle repeats.
Do I think that the filters are strong enough to have caught everything that would come through here? Do they look like they are so saturated that they couldn't hold anything else, and so this is getting pumped into the breathing air? Or
Saturated. Does Cass want to take that filter out?
turn off the lights. I need to have a look at this. And I'll unhook the filter and pull it out so I can like turn it around in zero G and get a good look at it.
So is Cass's helmet on?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Cass, as you pull the filter off, what you notice is on the other side of the filter, there's more. On the back side, there's more of this ichor. The next thing you notice is that it slides along the side of the filter to where your gloved hand is touching the filter. And then you see the ichor stuff touch your glove, and it begin to move slowly up your gloved hand to where your gloved hand reaches your wrist, and then start moving itself, undulating itself along the outside of your spacesuit.
I'm going to yelp and like shove the filter away from me and like swat at my arm, trying to get it off.
Now the filter will kind of tossle around and hits one of the walls and bounces somewhere else slowly. It's now this large slime is the best word I can think of, or like a really, really weak jello. It's a thick globule of blood and other ichor that's at Cass's forearm. And it's kind of sliding along the outside of Cass's spacesuit. It's now at Cass's elbow.
I turn my light on and point it towards them.
The blood-stained ichor seems to stop for a moment at the elbow, and little protrusions rise up towards the light, but then it continues sliding further and further up the side of Cass's suit.
Cass, turn your light off. You too?
My light's off.
Turn your light on.
No, if I think you're getting at what I think you're getting at, there's no way I'm turning my light on.
Listen, I know what he's getting at. I'm doing it because I ain't losing someone, and I turn my light on.
All right, so we got John's lights on. And John, you notice as you're spotting Cass Vega, it moves along Cass's shoulder, sliding on the outside of Cass's suit, sliding up to the neck joint, and moving around the neck joint in a strange circle, a semicircular counterclockwise motion around the neck joint of Cass Vega's suit.
Chess is looking around. Is there anything inside here that would resemble like a fire extinguisher?
Let's see, would they keep that? You know what though? In the future, I think they would still have those.
I think so.
Around. So I'm going to have you roll luck for me, Warren.
All right, it's just a
How
straight.
close that might be.
But it's just a straight 100.
Give me a luck roll versus your character's luck, and let's see if you cover.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah.
Here we go. Oh, right on the nose, 60.
Okay. So Chess will see maybe about 10 meters down the way, marked on the side of the ship with the little colorations and whatnot, a portable fire extinguisher, the foam kind, obviously for smothering these fires.
As quickly as he can, he wants to go over, grab it, and then pull the pin. And if I assume everyone sees, no one objects, he wants to start dousing her with this as it crawls up to see if it can do anything.
It takes a bit of time, of course, for Chess to go there, stop, take it off, and work his way back. Cass, you'll notice that the globule of blood finds its way onto your face mask. And it begins to move across the face mask of Cass Vega. Roll Sandy for me, Cass.
Oh, geez.
Yeah. 62, fail.
Okay.
Inspo?
I'm an inspo man.
You guys want? All right, you can inspire that. It's fine.
It's up to you guys because
Yeah.
my sanity is low and dropping fast.
30. I mean, thirded.
All right.
That, and let's see what the new roll is.
I pull an Amy right now. I swear to God. In the box. 39 made it.
Nice.
Okay.
Whew.
Cass, you will still lose 2 sanity.
Yeah.
Seeing this, you're seeing just through the glass, a few just inches away from your eyes. It's the blood thing is roiling. It's moving and undulating. It looks like almost like it's boiling as it's kind of pressing up and almost knocking against your face mask. It's not breaking anything. It's still some kind of strange viscous fluid, but it seems like it's making some strange effort. And it spreads out slowly across the entire face mask, almost like it's searching for something.
I have frozen, but
Chess
I
arrived with a chemical fire extinguisher. Chess, you want to use that thing, right?
Yeah.
I'm holding on to Chess.
All right.
So
The best skill for this. I'll have you just do dexterity because there really isn't a fire extinguisher skill. Dex should be fine.
all right, before I do this, I gave you from Lonely Yeti. I gave us bits for Lonely Yeti that should have been attributed to the DM. So the DM has 1 extra. We have 1 less. You
All
should have
right.
gotten 2.
I thought Lonely Yeti gave us 1 and gave Thomas 1. It was 1 and 1.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So we
Yeah.
still have we still have 9 and he has 2.
Yeah, there was 400
Yeah.
plus the 100 for us, and then there was 500 that went to Thomas.
Cool.
I've
All
got
right.
3 down.
I
for
know I
you.
wasn't hallucinating. All right. Sorry, I was right.
Unlike Cass.
All right, so Dex roll for
Dex.
Chess.
All right, let's do this. Oh Jesus. 75. He misses. My Dex is 50.
The chemical fire extinguisher sprays.
Roll it again.
right-
Roll it again.
All right.
Roll it again.
Inspiration.
Yeah.
Inspo.
48 just makes
Okay.
it.
Sweet.
No, it sprays all over the helmet and the neck of Cass's suit for further blinding Cass, inside your suit. It's covered. You notice it's covered in foam at this point, and lots of this foam is starting to float all around you in the 0G. Little white globules of foam. And then John Ralph Macho, can you give me a spot hidden roll?
Let's do it. 21, and spot hidden is at 22.
Okay,
Really?
perfect.
But yeah.
So John, out of the corner of your eye, you
25
notice,
is the base, man.
oh, 25, there you go. So you're cool. But John, is what you notice. From the other side of this large circular center of the ship, a large globule of blood is floating towards you. Maybe that was the one from earlier, but it's floating this way again.
Okay. All right. We should deal with that. I'm gonna start backing up. I don't want it on me, but I'm gonna keep its attention with the flashlight.
I'm gonna turn. Wait, my flashlight, or do you have a flashlight?
I
thought
when
helmet light.
Dr. Torrance said for the flashlight, I put mine on, and
Right.
I hit my headphones, and I've been and yeah, that's mine. Yeah.
I try and assess the situation on her mask right now, real quick, and see if that seems to have had any effect on it.
Yeah, and I also want to look at it through my helmet and see if it's still like bubbling, boiling, roiling.
So on the outside, everyone sees that, of course, Cass is covered in the white foam. On the inside, Cass, you can see a few bits of white foam, and you see a red bubbling substance beneath the white foam, still bubbling.
I'm going to tap into comms and say it didn't work.
Well,
on
I
the
didn't
outside,
wanna-
we can still kind of see it crawling.
It's hard to tell, but Cass can see on the inside.
It didn't work. It's still moving. It's still moving on my helmet.
Yeah, I didn't want to try this yet, but I guess now's as good a time as any. I pull out the scalpel, and I turn on the laser scalpel, and so that it's on the glass and not on any part of her suit. And I try and just see if I can cut this thing.
He's
So
a surgeon.
in the hand of anyone else, a laser scalpel would be a mighty dangerous cutting instrument, especially on a spacesuit. However, it is in the hand of a trained surgeon, Dr. Stanley Torrance. So I'm going to let the doctor roll his medicine skill to see if he can make sure to cut just what he needs, not any deeper.
Oh man. Yeah, we're re-rolling that.
We can't.
What was it?
Why?
Is it
Why
a
can't we?
fumble?
It's a 99.
Oh, beautiful.
Why can't you re-roll a 99?
It's like rolling a nat one. You
Yeah.
can't
Can I use my luck for it?
No, anything that's 96 through 100 is a fumble in our game.
Oh shit! Okay.
Roll, can't
Yeah.
spend luck. It just cinematically things happen. So the doctor reaches over there, begins to cut, but Cass is floating in the zero G environment, and her just the slightest turn changes the angle of his scalpel as he cuts. And Cass, you notice the red light up. The red object lights up, and then you notice a light in your visor, and the HUD goes out.
Oh.
Doctor, if you would, I'm just having you roll a D4 for me.
While he's doing that, seeing that, Chess kind of screams, "What part of you thought that was a good idea?"
Did you roll a 4?
A 4, yeah.
All right, Cass, the light for just a moment, but it's enough, comes through the helmet of the laser scalpel, and you feel a burning on your scalp, the side of Cass's head, which is 4 damage to Cass Vega.
Oof.
And the doctor immediately stops the scalpel. It's a intense heat mark. It's a small cut, but it's there. The helmet is dysfunctional. At this moment, it's kind of crazy at just the moment. It's chaos. What happens, of course, is that the red substance seems to move away from the cut.
As Cass is shrieking in pain.
And
Sorry.
Chess yells, "Stop doing that to them." And he tries to, I don't know if he wants to fight you for it, but maybe his arm in some way. He just wants to pat it up in a way. He's not going to force. Yeah.
Sorry. Are you okay?
My head.
Cass, roll spot hidden for me.
Oh. That is a hard success, 14.
The HUD is out, the interior lights are on the helmet, but you do notice the red substance is now coming back towards that cut in the front of your helmet.
I'm gonna grab the helmet, twist it, and fling it away from me as hard as I can. And I'm like there's this open gash along my head, I imagine. But
you guys notice the Cass's helmet, of course, flies tumbling. We're going to head towards the back of the ship.
Question.
Tumbles back into the rear of the ship.
The glob isn't growing like the blob. It's a fixed size, and it's just moving, yeah?
Currently, the glob, as far as you guys can tell, is still on the helmet that Cass tossed down there. Of course, as John notices, and you guys, another one floats through the air, comes to the other side. When it hits the other side, it begins to move around and kind of readjust itself, sliding along the outside of the ship. And then it kind of boils up or broils up like something that's baking and rising, yeast rising, until it comes off the side of the ship again. It begins to float towards the 4 of you once more.
Cass sees none of this. They're holding their head, trying to get the bleeding. I guess it wouldn't be much bleeding with the laser scalpel, but just oh god, that hurts.
It burns.
I see. I guess Chess follows her through them through the helmet, and then looks at the globule. Did it look like the glob braced for impact against the wall?
It looked like it slid across the wall, and then it kind of broiled up. Kind of boiled up or rose up, and then popped off the side of the wall, floating in your direction.
Chess gives an audible, "Oh my god."
Is there any blunt object near me that I can see?
There's a filter.
There's a no.
There was one filter that was taken out. That's it.
Good. Do I have any tools on me?
You do.
You do.
Oh no! Tool on me, like a wrench.
Single wrench.
You did. I remember that.
Okay. And it kind of stays in the air. Oh, and I'm gonna get it. Then I would like to smash this thing away from me by throwing a wrench in its face, or not. I mean, if a wrench, I hope it doesn't cling to the wrench. Okay, yeah. I'm gonna hit it with the wrench.
Did Stanley Torrance's laser hit it at all, or did he completely miss and just gash Cass for no reason?
The doctor thinks he hit it. He thinks he cut it.
Yeah, it spread itself over her mask, or their mask, excuse me. It spread itself over their mask, so I assumed I would hit it.
Did it react?
Did I see it react at all before I got blinded with pain?
Yeah.
Like, Cass, you noticed it parting like the Red Sea,
Mm-hmm.
and then coming back together at some point.
Okay.
So that's happening, and Chess is just putting the pieces together as he kind of murmurs through his HUD. I don't know if Cass, they would hear him, but he's like,
Not anymore.
it is a biologic and it is intelligent.
Hey, Chess, roll for sanity for me.
All right, that's what happens when
Fair
you're
enough.
perceptive. Oh, 8.
Nice.
I think that he is excited by the prospect of this new life, and it doesn't seem to affect his sanity.
Yeah, him saying it was kind of wonder and shock and less fear.
I get that.
I mean, fair.
Yeah.
All right, so, John Ralph Macchio, do you want to try to hit it with your wrench?
Yeah. If I get the sense it clung to her immediately, I'm gonna throw that wrench rather than immediately.
Do you have a fighting melee or fighting brawl? Which one do you have?
Fighting brawl.
We'll go with fighting brawl. Give me a roll on brawl.
20.
Okay. So John Ralph Macchio swings, clobbers this ball of goo. I mean, it's a ball of a liquidy substance. It goes right, the wrench goes right through it. It kind of splits in two little globules and kind of floats in different directions. Floats right past John's head, behind him, in some direction to the other side of the chamber.
Okay. Is it dead? Does it look dead? If not, I think everybody get out of both those halves way.
It reformed earlier.
We need to leave and lock it in here.
This is the life support room. If this thing spreads, everyone in here is dead, us included.
They're following us by the light, right? Turn off your lights. So I turn off mine and look over at John.
John,
My
nothing
Huh?
else in front of you, but it went behind you at some point.
light's still on. I want to do this. Can the light be detached?
It's built into the helmet.
Oh, I'm not throwing away 2 helmets of this team.
I have my light.
Can I grab Cass's helmet?
It's down. It's somewhere. It's floating towards the rear of the ship.
I am a lot stronger than I look. It went a long way, man.
Damn. All right.
And that thing is still attached to it.
As far as you know.
Wait a minute. If the helmets are interchangeable, are they?
Yeah.
Apparently.
Okay. Then hold on, Cass. I'm gonna have to borrow your helmet, and I keep the light on my helmet, and I'm gonna throw that to get its attention, and I'm gonna try and float to the Cass's helmet.
Wait, why are you going to Cass's helmet?
So I can have a helmet A, and B, we can at least have a diversion. Because my plan is, John Ralphio Macchio, is if I can find something to contain this thing, maybe we don't have to use the life support room as a containment unit as well.
There's still a glob attached to my helmet.
Oh,
so if you grab my helmet, it's gonna climb up you.
I thought Thomas said that it slid off the helmet and went back towards us.
I thought there were 2.
There's 2 separate globules.
Okay.
I thought that was after
what
I
I
hit it
thought.
with the wrench.
No.
There's 3
There's
now.
3 now.
There's 3 because you hit it, you meathead.
I'm a New Yorker.
We
So,
should
yeah.
discuss any plans before you do them, John.
Says the guy with the laser knife.
I just did what I had to do. That's a good point.
We leave the room, we figure out, we re-enter. We have no idea what these things are, what they're capable of, or how to subdue them.
Do I watch them try and follow that light that from his helmet that he threw off?
Damn it! Yeah, okay, that's.
Did you throw your helmet knowing that you should retrieve Cass's?
I'm going to go with that. Let's go with the helmet throw. It's great. I love it. So John throws his helmet down there, and I actually rolled to see what they would be more interested in. It's the only helmet that's lit, assuming that the other 2 are off, right?
Yeah.
Right.
And they failed their roll. So the 2 of them, you see, it's 2 smaller globules floating down the ship towards the rear, towards the direction that John threw his helmet. It's tumbling about, it bounces and it bounces and it bounces as it goes down towards the rear of the ship. The other two seem to be moving that direction.
I wonder if there's any way to lure them to an airlock and then open it.
Okay. Yeah, I like it.
You're thinking, but
How,
you should
how
figure
many,
that out outside the room. Just
how many
like
more
you're
of
gonna-
these do we have to go before life support is cleared?
There's at least 3, right, Thomas? There were 3 that I knew of with the panels.
The indicator, it's still showing an error. And also you pull one of the filters out. You have a replacement filter as well. So replace that and then check there's actually 4 filters here on this wall unit. You checked 2 of them so far.
Yeah. So, I mean, 4 at the most, at least in here. Ow.
Are you okay?
I mean,
He points,
no.
just points to the cauterized laser wound.
Like
on the forehead.
there's a neatly cut bit where some of their hair has been cut through as well. They look really weird now.
All right, we've got some sadists in the chat because Tamago Toro slid $500 to, I assume, Thomas, because he says no survivors.
Tamago Tora,
Use-
buddy,
use-
friend, pal.
Oh, what are you doing?
Are we going to try to coordinate this to get the filters out and working, and just
All
keep
right.
throwing light sources?
All right, here's my thought. If is there a what is the word that I'm looking for? Is there an airlock nearby?
So there are 2 in the ship, one near the front, one closer to the rear. So the one near the front is ahead of all the colony rings. And the one in the rear is behind all the colony rings. So yeah, but there's 2. Front
All
and rear.
right. So here's my thought. We go and get something to contain the filters in, pull the filters, drop them immediately into a bag, tie the bag up, take that to the airlock, and jettison the whole damn thing out.
This is space. We likely have sealing bags.
Sure.
He's right.
Probably. Something to keep it contained, because then it's smart but not strong. It couldn't break through the helmet on its own. It was trying, I think.
It was also looking to get in any crevices as well. As long
What
as
do
it's
we know?
airtight, maybe it won't be able to get in, but
Or
that's
or
just
or,
an assumption.
or
Light.
if we're fast.
Light sensitive, light attracted, can detect the environment as a result of Mr. Machio here breaking it in 2 and it bouncing off the wall and going
Maybe-
towards the light. Intelligent doesn't mean smart. It just means it's driven by a stimulant.
Let me ask you, Chess. It didn't go for our lights before when it was on Cass, sliding up their arm. It went for Cass. So it's not just light that attracts.
DM
the
question.
heat?
DM question, because I was under the assumption that her arm was the first thing it touched, but was slowly making its way to the light.
Is making its way towards Cass's helmet. That's what you guys witnessed. And it traveled along Cass's arm all the way up to the top.
And I don't think I had my light on, but I would have to defer to other people reminding me, because I thought I remember specifically saying turn the lights off.
Yeah,
So she didn't.
They.
They.
me too.
Apologize.
So my question is, could these things be attracted to heat as well?
Maybe,
And is there a way to change the environment in such a way to blind them?
and maybe heat even over light, because it was coming from me rather than your lights.
Yes.
Heat could be the source of what drives it, but you're warmer than the illumination.
Well,
Right? Like on the outside of the suit, you've got a cool degree. When you take it off, you're 98.6. It would choose your face over the flashlight source.
yes, but
And
I
it
had
didn't chase the heat, it chased the light source.
not when it was on me, because
right.
you all shown your lights on it when it was on my arm, and it still kept going toward my face.
We don't know if it's heat, but it's something that we might be able to experiment with.
Possibly.
Either way, this thing is trying to crack our suits and get through our defenses. It wants an organism of some kind. It doesn't really matter.
Do we have blow torches?
Yeah.
I'm gonna scan around and see if, because there were 3 and 2 of them were chasing the helmet. Do I see anything else coming out?
So give me a spot hidden roll, Cass.
05.
Excellent. Roll sanity for me.
Nice.
Fuck. 51.
Okay. Looking deep down the back of the ship towards the rear where your helmet and also John Ralph Macho's helmet went, you don't spot the helmets, but there is motion down there. There is motion somewhere deep back beyond your vision. You can see it, and you can see it like clearly. Something is moving back there, and what you see in your mind is 5 things moving on the sides of the ship, all in a circle, moving along the edges of the ship, the very end limits of your vision, deep down near where the engine room is. Lose 2 sanity.
So my eyes get about this big as I realize what probably damaged the engine. Oh. You're not gonna like this.
It's all right. I already don't like most things.
Fair enough. There's more of those things, and I'm pretty sure I remember one of them going at the engine.
That's
At least one.
Yeah.
And if your hypothesis, Doctor, is accurate, that would be the greatest source of heat on the ship.
As would a bunch of pods with humans.
Anybody remember my first suggestion? Anyway, yeah, we should get it on the move.
Blow torches.
And that.
Is there? Do we have blow torches?
But to find out, hairspray and a lighter. That's
Oh,
what we need.
That is less likely
welding
on
gear
the
would be
ship.
sufficient.
Huh? Say again?
Welding gear would be sufficient.
Okay.
Yeah,
Oh.
not really blow torches per se, but it's a sophisticated welding gear.
And
Wait,
that
could
would be that would be, say it all together now, in the environmental ring.
In your habitation ring, where everything else is.
Yep.
Couldn't also the doctor's laser start a fire?
Yeah, apparently.
My charred hair says yes.
It's not super strong though. It probably wouldn't. It would take a long time to heat up metal.
I would
Yeah.
imagine as a laser scalpel, it is meant for cutting, so it would likely do cutting.
Yeah.
But it's probably at a certain distance. So
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Right. Well, it seems like everything that we need is in the habitation ring, not here. Let's go there.
Concur.
So moving back towards the front of the ship, which is where
Yeah.
the hatching is.
And I'm going to make sure to shut the door into that room as hard as I can and just like latch it shut.
Yeah, basically there's these are just grates. These are intakes that you've opened. Cass, you can close them again. But the important thing about intakes is there's openings to suck in air.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not sealed.
Well, no, not where the filters were. The door into the room itself.
There's all the gear for the life support isn't really a room. It's lining the interior. There's sections of the middle of the ship, which is where this equipment is stored and useful, and it's just there, like vent systems.
Okay.
AC heating, whatever, vent systems and purification systems. It's all there to be worked on if you need to. It's very accessible for repair purposes and whatnot. And all the intakes are right there along the side of the wall leading into the whole system. You close them. But like I said, they are vents which can suck in.
Yeah. And
maybe that's what happened. Maybe it just sucked these things right in.
Entirely possible. I'm going to look around, just be like, oh, I hate this.
is there any way to use the ship's ventilation system to collect these things?
I mean, probably. That's what the filter did.
if we can get them at least collected into a certain place, if we could figure out how to end them.
I mean, our best bet, you mentioned the sealing bags. We might be able to take the filters out, get them immediately into the bag, seal it up so it's airtight, drop it out the airlock multiple times, but that's the only option I can think of.
My fear is that we've seen this thing split into two other smaller things. Does that mean that it can then congeal into one big one?
I would think so.
I don't
Does
see why not.
When he says that, does that remind me of the thing that I saw in my most recent memory?
You want to think about your most recent memory?
No, but yes.
I'll allow Cass to roll against their power to see to maintain their frame of mind and see focus on that memory again.
Well, POW is better than sanity at the moment, so sure. 15, that is a hard success.
Cass, what you saw didn't look like these kind of globules of blood. They were things. It looked like things with a defined angles and angles and motions or size or a hunch or like something hiding in the darkness. But you have not a good, it's just at the end of your vision, behind where the lights are, moving somewhere unseen.
I'm going to think about that and just shudder. It seems possible if they broke apart, they might be able to come back together. It seems likely.
Where did you go just now?
Memory, maybe. A thought, a picture.
It's not very descriptive.
You don't want me to describe it, Doctor. It is. I barely want to think about it, let alone describe it.
You are the only one who knows what we're up against here. Your memory. It's been repressed somehow or taken from you somehow, but it's coming back. And we need to know what you know.
You'll think I'm insane, and you might be right.
After what we just saw, I'm all aboard.
I can't describe it. I don't have the words for I couldn't see it, but there were things beyond the edge of my vision. They weren't like the blood globules. They were sentient, moving, powerful.
Where?
At the end of the ship, down toward where I threw my helmet.
Same direction.
You remember where I threw my helmet? That way.
Oh my God.
And I didn't remember until I threw it that direction and saw the movement, and it pulled the memory up, I guess, or something. I don't know what it is that I saw, but it's not just the sentient blood. It's something else.
You're saying there are beings here.
Yeah. Like I said, it sounds insane. Except, and I just like gesture back at the life support stuff.
I was going to make some joke about crazy theories and me already being convinced that you're a lunatic, but that seems like the most likely result. As he kind of looks up from his notebook, he's trying to put two and two together with the hand and the thing, and it's like there's intelligent life on this ship.
And it may have come in with the bullet thing that was in the magnetic generator.
So what do you want to do?
curl up in a ball and cry. But since that isn't an option.
I second that motion.
Yeah, Cass is just gonna like hug themselves a little bit and say, okay, John and I need helmets, and we need filters and a navigation panel and self-sealing bags.
All right.
Not necessarily self-sealing, but bags that can be airtight for sure.
Firstly, we get you helmets. Then we get us weapons. And then we get bags. And then we start the extraction. Not that I want to use the weapon on a sentient life who's might not even know that it's doing us any harm. But self-preservation is top of mind right now.
That's true. But I don't know what kind of weapon would work against it. The doctor's laser, it just split away from it. It didn't hurt it.
Try it all.
The laser cutter didn't hurt it, and the wrench, it split it in half. If anything, we might just split them into smaller and smaller and smaller pieces, which are nearly impossible to collect.
I think airlock evacuation or possibly burning them alive and killing it with fire, if you will help us.
We could possibly use the environmental controls. There's no guarantee that whatever alien presence is on this ship can survive in too hot or too cold.
Well, it's already cold in here because it's still we woke up and it was freezing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's pretty cold in there.
It's already too cold, but if it came in from space, maybe it can't handle something that's what we would consider a hot summer day.
As long as we don't put the risk of the colonizers' lives at jeopardy, playing with the atmosphere and the environment, I'm on board.
I think that they're already in danger. I think they're already in danger that we can't even begin to understand.
Well, let's not assume, but let's just do what we can.
We need to find out.
Yeah.
But first, Cass, do you know those tombs, were they self-sufficient with oxygen being pumped in and regulated?
They should have been, right? Because they're like pods.
Yeah, they're like pods. They're all supposed to be self-sufficient. They can survive. You can survive in there with or without the life support.
Yeah, if there were redundancies upon redundancies built into this thing, if something went wrong and the air system went out, the pods would still be able to maintain life.
So we need to probably see what kind of condition those people are in, and then from there fix the environmental system so that we can manipulate them.
Okay.
That's just one thing.
I need a helmet first, and so does John, because I don't know what's going on in there.
And you
So
know,
what we'll do, while the party goes back to the habitation ring, let's just take a little short break here. This is a good time for us to take a break ourselves. Maybe like 5-10 minutes or so for us to take care of our own bodily functions and whatnot. For everyone, take a quick break, and we'll be right back as our group heads back to the habitation ring to gear themselves up and prepare themselves for the next stage of this story. Back shortly. Well, we are back now from our break. Hope you're back with us as well. Let's settle in for the second half of our show this evening. So basically, when we left our party, they were heading back to the habitation ring, which is the room or the area of the ship, large circle, that the crew uses for all the repairs, all the spare parts, everything they need is in that habitation ring. So just for story purposes, moving forward a bit, you guys will basically find new helmets. So originally there were 7 helmets, you're down to 5. So you're wearing 4 of the 5. There's one spare that you'll leave in the room with the rest of the space suits. In the computer repair room, where you'll be able to find a couple of repair kits, and luckily in 2 of those kits, for some reason they stowed a couple of small welding torches, which you wouldn't usually use for computer repair, but maybe for severing or removing equipment, it was deemed necessary. So there's now 2 welding torches available to the party that you found in the computer repair room. You found another console for the navigation system as well. Nearby, there's a closet where there's a couple more spare filters, as well as bags you can use. They're sealable. You want to use that as well. All the other heavier equipment is still in the engineering bay. And of course, in the engineering bay, there's a lot of plant life. So the question is, do you want to risk that or just make do with what you have here?
What would be in the engineering bay that I might need for heavy equipment?
More just basic repair tools, things for cutting, things for, there's other welding torches over there as well, sealing equipment, and clamps, whatever general repair and construction equipment would be there. Toolkits, clamps, for holding stuff together when you're fixing it.
Chess has a blowtorch. I just want to establish that now.
Things. So Chess has got one of the 2 torches from the computer repair bay. And I imagine John will take the other one, or Cass.
Cass is very deliberately staying unarmed because they're a little bit worried about what might happen if they lose it like Boss did. So they're very deliberately just like, nope, I do not want you guys to have any reason to be afraid of what might happen, and I'm kind of afraid of what might happen too, so let's not play this game.
I want to say that, like, when someone, like, I don't know, Machio probably went through the inventory and found a blowtorch, he, like, handed it to Cass, and Chess intercepts and, like, I'll take that, thank you. Sorry.
Machio, you find more batteries for that bolt gun, which is used for, obviously, shooting bolts into a construction project, or just shooting bolts in general. So there's a fresh battery for that as well.
Okay, bolt gun.
Bolt gun, 2 welding torches, and then some sundry repair tools and a laser scalpel. Anything else you guys want to look for?
What to look for?
I mean, I'm kind of thinking it might be worth the risk to go to like run like mad into the engineering bay, grab some of the more general toolkits and run like fuck back out.
We could use. Sorry, go on.
What's the plan?
Mine's gonna be a bit more absurd. I just feel like. Do we have any capture unit, like an ice chest or something, that can store these little things, these little meat wads when we find them, or possibly a vacuum? I know how that sounds, but it also would be very beneficial.
Well, that's what the bags are for, is to try to collect them up.
In the computer repair room, there is a vacuum, the portable vacuum you can use for picking up all sorts of filings and other things that are in the atmosphere that need to be cleaned up after a repair job.
I love it. Let's do it.
Would such a thing, because it's in 0G, be airtight?
Probably would be.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. Let's do it.
Yep. Started.
So right down, you have one vacuum cleaner, portable, the future version of a dustbuster.
Who is taking that is the real question.
I would like to. Oh, okay. To the doctor.
rock, paper, scissors, guys.
I opt out. This is a defensive tool.
Fair.
I think you have the torch, and I'll just hang on to this.
That's fair.
By all means.
All right. The doctor's got the vacuum. John and Chess have torches. Cass has got a toolkit, a smaller toolkit for smaller computer repair jobs.
Yeah, and I'm thinking that I'm going to propose to them. I really would like a more complete tool set, so I don't have to keep coming down here, and that's in there. And I like nod over at the engineering room.
More opportunities to test responses to stimuli. I'm here for this.
I was not planning that. I just planned to run like hell in, grab what I need, and run right the hell back out.
That doesn't sound like much of a plan. I mean,
That's all I've got right now.
you trip and fall, and what happens?
Well, then I die, and you guys go on.
No, I'm not sure we can do this without you.
Or was that a little too nihilistic for you, even?
No.
Not even that. That is worst case scenario.
I am very nimble. I'm very fast. And I know where everything is. And by very nimble, I mean I have a dexterity of 80.
I don't like it. I don't like it. I
Any
think
other
we can,
valiant volunteers then?
We already know how to manipulate these a little bit. Get them to follow the light.
Is there any way we can turn off the gravity in that room specifically?
No, it's spinning gravity, right? It's going like this. So unless we stop the whole ring, we're not going to stop the gravity.
Exactly.
Okay.
Well, and we have an idea of what might work for the blood globules. We understand a little bit how the plants work. What if there's something else?
That's what the torches and the rivet gun are for, right?
Can we just throw a Molotov cocktail in this room and then walk in after?
Do you understand how oxygen works?
Right. Never mind. Forgot. Sorry. Space craziness.
Again, I think if we're going to talk tactics, we can do that. But right now, we need to figure out how to get you in there and back out with your tools.
Well, from what I remember when I was in there before, as long as I moved quickly, it was like standing on quicksand. It wasn't exactly grabbing me. It was just sort of opening up to let me in. So if I move quickly and jump, basically, hop from spot to spot, I won't be in one spot long enough for it to grab me.
I guess I'm concerned because it sounds like you're going to need an awful lot of luck.
Well, my mama always called me lucky.
Well, I say that if, in lieu of luck, Matcha, you should probably give her a blowtorch, your blowtorch. You should probably give them your blowtorch in case they get tangled up.
I have no problem with giving them my blowtorch, but I also want to say, can we give you a tether? If you fall into alleged quicksand, then we can at least pull you out. I'm not losing someone if we can save it.
Yeah, that's fair. Is there rope anywhere in the area that I could like tie around my waist and hand them the other end of like 100-foot rope or something?
Yeah, you find some pretty easily. There's a nice 100-foot cord.
Ooh,
yeah.
Could we?
And I'll wrap it around my waist twice and tie it off neatly and hold out the other end. Any volunteers?
I grab it first and I want to wrap it around my arm, like, coiled.
All right. So here we go. Cas Vega prepares themselves at the edge of where all the plants are lying out. They're still pointing towards the light that you guys observed from 2 rooms over, and no one's turned the lights back on in the engineering bay either.
Nope.
Cass, you want helmet lights on or off?
Do I know exactly what cabinet I'm going for? Because if I know exactly where I'm going, I don't want to risk lights.
Roll on your education.
54. That is a success.
Regular success, right?
Yes.
But Cass has a good idea of where they would be. Probably about 2 or 3 different cabinets, and we will see what the dice say when you reach each of those cabinets.
Fair enough.
Before you go, Cass, I give her the flashlight. And in fact, I'd like to say in this room, there's likely some flashlights.
Some like good-sized flashlights.
So I would try and grab that and give each person one.
All right.
Cass is going to get a toolkit and then 3 more lights on top of it.
No, I thought not in that room. In the room that we have been in.
We got the blowtorches from her.
Yeah, going back to the computer repair room, there are spare lamps, and you guys can find some spare ones. That's good. You got everybody's got a spare light if you want to have one.
Yeah, I'll strap it to the front of my suit with some of the Velcro.
Cass prepares himself, crouching right at the edge of all the vines and the plant life as they arch up toward the light, just to the side, out of view of the vines. There's a line attached to Cass's waist, held loosely. By the other end, of course, John's got it. Cass makes eye contact, nods to John, and then Cass, you bound into the room adjacent to the engineering bay. There's 2 rooms to go through. All right, running and kind of jumping and hopping and skipping. I'm gonna just roll. Give me a dex roll and see how you do with this first roll.
That is a 40, hard success.
The hard success casts very nimbly. It feels like a really, really soft astroturf maybe beneath Cass's feet. The vines move a little bit, but Cass is quick and nimble as they jump and hop and skip, staying in no place for more than a second, and bound into the engineering bay. Cass, give me another dexterity roll.
29, hard success.
Okay. Cass jump and lands on one of the construction benches, not the one, of course, where the mass is coming from, and immediately tries the first of the lockers. Roll your luck, Cass.
41, so not quite a hard success on a 70 luck.
It's a regular success. Okay.
Yes.
Inside there, Cass, there is a generic toolkit. One of the first things you see inside that storage locker. It will do everything you need. If that's what you want, you can take that and get out of here or keep searching.
I will leave that door slightly open and go a little bit further to see if I can find anything better. But that I have that earmarked to bounce back to.
As Cass ponders, the vines begin to move and creep up to the table and move towards Cass's feet. And Cass bounds across, lands on the vines, jumps again. Give me another dex roll.
52, regular success.
To the next table, next workbench, one more luck roll. Let's see what we got.
05.
Nice.
This is what you're looking for. Inside this cabinet is exactly the item that you were searching for. A light turns on. It's a nice golden light. And there's one item in the cabinet, and it's just that kit that you were thinking of.
Fantastic. I'm gonna let out a little yip of pleasure, pull it out, and just barrel back. I'll actually can I carry two kits at the same time, or
Cass has two hands, so
cool.
that's very doable.
And we can pull you straight through, right? You don't need
please no.
Oh.
I am better on my own feet than being hauled by someone else.
I'm collecting the slack as they run back, though.
One more dex roll for Cass as they enter that intermediate room.
Okay, so I have both kits, one in either hand, as I jump, and that is a hard success. Just.
But it's Cass nimbly dances between the vines, amongst the vines and the leaves. Nothing grabs their feet. Cass makes it beside you, and you coil up the rope. Cass proudly presents these two large toolkits they were looking for.
And present them with a little flourishing bow. Told you I was nimble.
Oh, thank God.
Less luck than I thought. Sorry.
All right, so moving forward, the group, you have a new panel for the nav computer. You've got new filters if you want them, some storage bags, and all these tools amongst at your disposal. Where do you want to go next?
I think our next one was going to be the colony ring that has all the problems. Now that we all have helmets on, it can go in there, even if it's been depressurized. Before you do that, do you want to, because you're carrying other gear. You're carrying a computer terminal, you're carrying filters, you're carrying bags, you're carrying two toolboxes. Do you want to use this stuff first? Because the third colony ring is the back, it's closest to the back of the ship.
Yeah,
so
what are we going to
traveling through all the other stuff first before you get to it?
We're going to pass everything else.
Yeah.
I mean, the nav panel is really easy to plug and play. That's a quick, easy fix. Do we want to take the 10 seconds it would take to do that?
Agreed.
Just to get rid of the extra. I mean, weight doesn't mean anything in 0G, but both.
Well, we're heading that direction. We'll decide when we get to the door, but I think yes.
Yeah, it's the next place on your journey. So it's a next step. You leave the hab ring, climbing up into the belly of the ship. Just a little bit further down, there's the bridge. Opening the door, replacing that panel takes maybe a minute and a half. Cass resets it, hits the button, it boots up, opens up. Nav panel shows up. With the four of you there in the room in the bridge, you all see it lights up and indicates there's a message there, like a large warnings thing. See, manual override engaged. And there's a button that says basically deselect or turn off the manual override.
I'm going to stare down at that and just like, someone changed our course or tried to. Manual override means it got taken out of autopilot, or someone was trying to take it out of autopilot.
Wait, where were we heading then?
I I'm gonna like move over to another console and leave that decision unmade for the moment and like pull up the logs to see. It would have been 2 days ago probably where a course change was made or attempted to be made. Are we still on the right course or have we shifted course?
Roll sysop for me.
Excellent.
I can help with that.
Do I get an advantage die or are we both doing it?
So
I'll give you the advantage if Thomas says.
Yeah, with Chess helping you, we're going to do the advantage die as Tiana mentioned, where essentially Tiana will be rolling with 2 dice in the 10s and taking the best of the 2 because she's getting assistance from the other character.
Thank you very much. That's a hard success.
Nice.
It doesn't take Cass too long to dig through those logs and find out that a manual override was typed in and there was a code given, which shut down the nav system. And then the code looks like it belonged to Mom, for lack of a better word. It's her code that she used, and she shut down the navigation computers with a manual override.
I'm asking Cass to explain that to me. Yeah.
So 2 days ago, my boss was put in a different set of coordinates.
And then smashed the computers.
So that no one could undo it. That's my guess.
Where is it? We're so close. Where would it veer us to? Do you know where the destination is?
So the destination, the coordinates are there, right?
The computer log indicates override of nav system, and then by the code, and then it is nav system shut down. And then there's a shutdown code, so the AI has no access to the nav system.
If
I have no idea.
someone changed our course, then changing it back may alert them to our presence.
But if we set a trap,
I guess that depends on whether we think the person who changed the course is still alive.
That's a good question.
We need to confirm it before we do.
It may answer a question.
You thought that Mom did this, right, Cass? By what you can tell in the logs?
Not well.
By the passcode or something?
The passcode, the logs, the authorization, and it tracks with my memory.
And Mom is, please excuse my crudeness, deceased.
I don't know.
How is that crude?
Disarmed at most.
Disarmed. Yeah, you have to make a joke, eh?
Cass chokes out a horrified little laugh because that's funny, but also, oh my god.
I get it now.
Chess shoots him, and you had to do it. Look.
That's horrible.
The nav computer is still flashing a button, which is essentially asking a user to restart it or turn it back on.
I don't think we do it yet. I think Stanley's right. I think that.
I suppose you can call me Stanley.
Sorry, do you prefer Dr. Torrance?
I do.
I'm sorry, Dr. Torrance.
And I prefer that we put this ship on the right course. We figure out who it alerts when it alerts them.
We've been off course for 2 days out of a 60-year journey,
which isn't far.
It isn't far. It won't be enough. Assuming we can figure out what happened, and if whoever did this is still alive, we find them and deal with it before it turns into a showdown in here.
Exactly.
Again.
But
and I glance over at the hole.
I agree with John Ralphio Macchio that this could be a trap. If they do come to change course again, we would be ready for them here. But when we're ready is the point.
And there's a lot of stuff to attend to on the ship, you know?
Exactly.
We can't just spend all our time sitting here for an ambush.
I think we still don't have enough information to make an educated guess about what needs to happen here.
Yeah.
So then, do we head to the colonist ring next?
What's on the way?
The filters.
Can we rig this room to lock down the second someone else enters it? That way, maybe we trap someone.
If I can do that, my boss can undo it. Even if she's not entirely all there, She's been doing this job for twice as long as I've been alive.
Any second of time that could buy us,
And you set a notification
might
when
help.
people disturb this room,
Set an alarm
an
or
access trigger.
Even a
telling
recording of this room.
Maybe. I could probably set up something like that. Does that sound like something that's within the realm of possibility? Like rig it so that when a code is entered, it like tries to lock down and sends me a system notification basically through my HUD.
And hopefully
You
record.
can have it send you a system notification of whatever you want. It's pretty basic programming. Just have the computer tell your HUD. Yeah,
Okay.
shouldn't take you more than a few minutes to program that little that command for like
Okay.
a little JavaScript or whatever we have in the future.
But can Cass also rig it to record A or B locked down upon entry, like after entry of anybody?
You know, you can change the password or change the lock code, but then with an administrator access, you could change it again.
Yeah, and the boss would have the administrative passwords.
Yeah, and there really isn't a lock. You just change the password, not just changing the lock is all you're doing. The passcode.
Yeah.
There aren't any cameras in this room, as far as you can tell. It hasn't been recording anything visually for you guys.
So
The AI is there. There's computer terminals if you want to access it or ask it more inquiries.
So really the best that I'd be able to do is set it up so that it sends me an alert if anyone else comes in here and wrecks the another navigation panel. There's another one down there, right? There's another one down there, at least one.
There's more spare panels.
So
it's almost like a computer screen, but it's a tablet screen. But yeah, just put another one on there. It all works.
if another one gets destroyed, then I can replace it again, and at least then we'd know that we're not the only humans on this ship.
What are the closest cameras to the exits?
There aren't really. There aren't cameras. There was never a need for cameras.
I guess. I don't know why scientists wouldn't document every action of our movements, for future expeditions. Just saying.
Well,
Jess is in the corner, just kind of nodding silently in agreement. Like he's right.
Well, if we survive, you can send that back to the engineers. I'm sure that would be a useful note. They over-engineered everything and forgot cameras. It seems
I'm a gambling man. Can't wait to tell them in the afterlife or otherwise.
Are there any medical supplies here, just in case something like that happens again?
Not in this room. There's no first aid kit here, but there would be a first aid kit back in the hab. I'll let you, if you want to, you grab a spare one while you were there.
Yeah, definitely would want to make sure I have some spare things.
Mm-hmm. So those of you who are looking, there's the new message on the computer. The AI is saying something on the screen. It's basically asking again, please restore navigation. Time without navigation is a counter showing it's going up and up and up. A danger, lack of navigation, restore navigation.
How
I'm going to urge you to do so.
What does the counter say? How long has it been?
Let's see. Depends on how long you guys have taken. I'm going to ponder. Let's just estimate it's been about 7-8 hours since before you awoke with all the repairs going on. So add that to around 49. So we're looking at, let's say, 56 hours. That's a good round number.
All right. I'm gonna look at that and then look at them and say, do we restore course and hope to draw whoever changed our course back here?
Aye.
If you really think this is an issue.
I'm having my doubts now.
If not, I'm perfectly fine letting it stay. It's already managed 56 hours without. I think it can manage a few more.
It will be fine. The engine is off. When we get the thrust that we've wasted back, I'm sure we can course correct.
Probably fairly easily, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. We can. I really want to see some other people than you three. I'm sorry, but.
Oh no, I completely understand. I would give anything to see my people again. Anyway, shall we?
So the next destination is?
Next destination is the colony ring.
Yeah. You pass by the filters for the life support system. Do you want to do that now or skip over those and move forward?
Do we want to peek in?
I would like to leave the filters nearby, wrapped up in the airtight bag so that things can't get into it, but come back to it.
And I'm gonna say, why aren't we doing this now? We're here. We have the time.
That thing might have expanded, growing. I don't know.
No,
I don't know what's on the other side of this door. I'm not eager to find out, but Dr. Torrance, you've got a point. But
and
if
Well, here, let's just do this. You're here. Let's take care of it. Here's what I want to do to take care of it for our story purposes. I'd like each of you to roll luck for me. Just give me a thumbs up, thumbs down. Let me know how your luck is in the process of taking these filters out, quickly bagging them and sealing them. And let's see if anyone is unlucky in the process. Chess was. Dr. Stanley?
That's a hard success.
Now, Chess, do you want to use
It's the biggest success.
You got a critical success.
Critical success is great. The doctor's fine, but I want to just make sure that nothing touched Chess.
What'd you say?
Let's inspire that.
You can inspire that.
Inspire that.
Okay. Inspire. Coming on. 27.
Excellent. Everybody is successful. While there is, as you pull the filters out, the red globules, the blood starts moving towards the edges, but you're quick, you're nimble, nothing touches your suits, nothing touches your gloves. In the bag, sealed. All 4 filters replaced. This unit is cleared out, restarted, green. And so this particular problem is fixed. There are 4 sealed bags with those filters in them, sitting here, floating about in the center. You can tuck them away if you like.
Well, and there's also an airlock in the direction that we're going, right?
And there in the back of the ship, there is.
These are also test subjects.
So they're in the bag. The globules are in there.
Yeah.
Are they showing any signs of like withering away at the bag or eating through the bag or anything?
Well, the bag is not see-through. It's a thick kind of polymer that and it's treated so it's not going to fall apart or it won't. Yeah, it's a good durable bag. That you do notice occasionally there's a little bit of a bulge and a little bit of motion inside the bag, but nothing too violent is happening inside.
Okay, I would like to make this proposal then. I agree, Dr. Torrance, they're test subjects, and these are some things that people who are better at this than I would I'm sure love to get their hands on. Let's keep it in the airlock so that if something goes really, really wrong, we can jettison it quickly. But it's also a safe place to keep it. It's airtight. And then it will contain them in that spot.
Agreed.
Good idea.
Okay. So the group basically floats down a little further to where the airlock is, which is right next to where the entrance to the last of the colony rings is. Opening the airlock, you store all 4, seal it up, they're stowed away, they're good. You wander down to where the last of the colony rings is. There's 3 different tubes that lead out to where the spin gravity is, just like your colony ring. So what's the order that you want to travel in as you climb up this ladder into the colony ring?
Was there any time in there to stop and get Dr. Torrance to have a look at the gash on my head? Because I am currently metagaming just a tiny bit at 3 hit points.
No, that's what I also actually wanted to. I actually wanted to do that when I was talking about getting the first aid kit.
Yeah, you get the first aid kit and roll first aid for me, Dr. Torrance.
Not medicine?
Well, this is a first aid situation. Medicine take more time.
He's a fail.
He's able to patch it up, but it doesn't supply any hit points to Cas Vega. With a medical care and some more time, he'd be able to fix it. But depends if you want.
Could I try to do a first aid on myself? Because I've got 50 in it.
We'll give it a shot. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I don't know why I'm so bad at this. Literally my job.
Me neither, but I got a 44, which is a success.
Yeah. Basically, let's see here.
Performer shyness.
2 hit points, but it's efficient.
I'll take it. 2 is good.
All right. So Cass is a little bit more patched up. What's the order that the 4 of you want to climb up into the? Actually, you're climbing down. Frankly, as gravity goes, you'll be pulled down. So it's a down.
I feel pretty unscathed, everybody.
I'm fine, but I'm not going first.
I'll take up the rear. If Cass, you want to take the lead?
Take the lead. I know that.
You know where we're going.
I do.
All right.
Cass.
You can be right behind me, John. If I need assistance, you won't be more than 5 feet away.
That's true, but I don't know. I feel like I'm looking a little more lively than you at this moment.
I am hurting but functioning, and let's just leave it at that.
Yes, I'm not going to make you roll for this, and actually nobody has to roll for this because it's pretty apparent as you're pulling yourself down on these ladders. There are smears and bloodstains every now and then along the side wall for this particular access tunnel.
Thanks, I hate it.
This is encouraging.
You sure you want to lead it?
I got this. Let's find out what the hell happened.
Jess has got his blowtorch out, just in his hand. Yeah.
One hand down, one
Yep.
with the torch. All right. As the group makes their way down to where the spin gravity is in effect, Cass drops, I imagine John, then Chest, and the doctor all kind of drops to the floor of this ring. It looks just like your colony ring. This is a room that you're in. It's a pod with an access tube above you, doors on either side, and there's 4 tombs in this room. But what's different, of course, is that the tombs are all open.
Careful now.
Yeah.
How many of them are all of them?
There are 4 tombs. Each one has the lid off.
I'm gonna go over cautiously and look inside to see if there's blood.
Does this layout look exactly like our layout?
Yep, it's a unit, same construction design, just like yours.
Yeah, I'm gonna go look for blood or any sign of a struggle, or try to look around to try to figure out what happened here and where everyone is.
I follow Cass.
Anybody else want to follow?
We got to follow. We're following.
It's
Yeah.
a few steps over to see what everyone sees. As Cass and the group approaches the first of the tombs, there's 2 on either side of this access ladder. Cass, what you notice inside is that a person, there's a body laying inside there, the remains of a body laying inside there. Something's happened to this body, this colonist. All down the leg bones from the feet all the way up to the hip is all opened up. The leg is opened up. And then, of course, the chest cavity seems to have something has happened there. You can't tell. It's a mess. You don't look at the face or the arms, but that's the first thing you see. Dr. Torrance, if you could give me a medicine roll.
Yes, sir.
As Cass quietly gags in their helmet.
Success.
Doctor, what you're looking at looks like cuts. Your guess is some kind of a knife or maybe a scissors, as opposed to something else. It looks like a tool. There's a tool marks around the leg. You also notice, doctor, that the bones of the leg of this colonist are missing. The leg bones have been removed from this particular colonist. The whole group of you see this, and there's also, if you want to examine the chest cavity, you can, but you'll have to roll sanity at this point. So give me a sanity roll.
Sanity. I would say that like Chess is trying to make some correlation between the behavior of the glob and maybe like eating this thing, but looks like mechanical sever, right?
That's what the doctor could tell you in a moment. What's the rest of your sanity rolls?
Oh, nice, Bo. Holy cow.
Natural 1.
Oh, everybody's doing it?
34.
Success. And John.
Barely made it. 68 out of 70.
Doctor's
Well,
in his
the
element.
doctor has done
got
surgery. He's seen corpses. This does not affect the doctor whatsoever. Cass, you will be losing.
I don't know if you heard me. I rolled a 96.
Oh, that's okay. You will be losing. Actually, this is 6 sanity. This is a 6 sanity moment for you. I apologize. It's a full D6 for you at this point. So, Cass, I'll talk to you in a second about what will happen with a loss of 6 or more at one bit.
Yeah.
So, Chess and John, you each lose 2 sanity, even though they are successful.
What? All right.
Oh, sanity.
Mark
That's
out-
insane.
All right.
What's up, Doc?
Cass, you are struck with an overwhelming longing for your crew. As the emotion you feel at this moment, you don't know what happened, but you sense in Cass that your crew, where are they? You miss your crew. You want to find them. It's the compulsion that begins to ebb inside Cass's mind, because there's answers, or there's safety, or there's friendship, or there's something with those individuals. Cass needs to know, or needs to find them. That's the overwhelming compulsion that starts to ebb inside Cass, their current sanity state.
It looks to me like this was either an experiment or they needed to harvest these bones. What do I get from the chest cavity by looking at it?
I won't make you roll for that. There's a couple of organs that appear to be removed. It's a mess in there. Maybe the liver. Yeah, it's probably the liver that's missing. As you dig around a bit more, if you want to, you can find something else that might be misplaced.
Okay, so I'm looking around.
So the doctor also notices some of the large pectoral. One of the large pectoral muscles has been removed as well for some reason, and there's some sections of endocrine systems or whatnot, or you're kind of poking around a little bit, seeing that some things have been taken.
All right, I'm gonna go like this, and I'm gonna go, huh? Yep, he's dead.
Funny.
Sincere. As I think this. Wait, I imagine I can't blow Viscera away.
No, but I enjoy watching you try. And I say, levity aside, something happened here. They took and removed a pectoral muscle and what seems to be his liver.
Is someone harvesting organs during all of this?
The blue harvest.
Okay.
At this point, I'm going from tomb to tomb, looking in, not at any of the bodies that might be in there, but at the faces. I'm trying to find my crew.
Mm-hmm. Cassie, what you see is a horror show from tomb to tomb to tomb. You do your best to not focus too much on the details of what's been missing, but there's been a weird haphazard harvest is the only word that comes to mind. Things have been, the next colonist over, which is an open tomb, something else has been missing. The chest has been splayed open. And there's bones taken there. One of them, of course, the head has been removed. Another one is an arm entirely been pulled off. Other ones are bits of muscle groups or whatnot, but you don't focus on it. You're looking at faces. Cass finishes this room. Which way do you want to go, right or left?
Left.
Cass hits the button for the door. It's a green indicator. Cass opens it, moves to the next tomb.
Hey, he chest shouts. What's the story down there? It's the same thing?
Cass, in the next, there are 4 more tombs. They are all open.
I'm going to keep looking face to face to face.
And Cass continues to look at the horror. Give me another sandy roll, Cass, as we go deeper and deeper into this.
Should we go get her?
Am I following?
Them. We should go get
them.
These people, Cass, you don't know these people, but something horrible happened to them as they were laying inside these tombs, from person to person to person. And you finish with the second tomb. You can hear your party calling behind you.
I'm on to the next one.
In here, Cass, where are you going?
My crew. I can't find them. I need to find my crew.
We will find your crew. You need to wait for us.
And
Don't go without us.
I slammed through another door, just like hitting the buttons as hard as I can.
The third pod, all of the tombs are open. They're all splayed open, and there's a blood trail along the floor, going both where you came from and towards the next tomb. Each one of these is the butchery is continues from pod to tomb to tomb to tomb in this room, and there's drips running the floor, both up and down.
Not that I blame them into the HUD, but they have clearly gone bye-bye, Doctor.
And I'm actually going at about that point. I'm going to shriek, not actually because headphone users, no thank you, but into the HUD. They're dead. Everyone's dead. It's all torn apart down here.
I feel like as John, I would have been following pretty closely based on prior statements. How close am I at this moment?
Probably about a safe distance, but in the same pod, I would imagine. John isn't, unless you want to get closer. Well, fast.
As they went further down, I would have liked to have followed with them. And yes, so when that is said, is it possible for me to pull them out of it?
All right. So, John, you can go ahead and grab Cass, take a look at their helmets. Cass, you can tell us, is not doing well. Their eyes, their face expression, Cass is very traumatized by this.
Cass, get out of there. It's not good for you. It doesn't matter if what's done is done. Get out.
It matters. Of course it fucking matters.
I'm still going to pull.
I'm going to fight back.
All right. The two of you will struggle a bit as well.
We'll get there at some point.
The party gets there. Let's say they settle Cass down. That's the point. All right, Cass gets a chance to calm down. You're standing in the third pod over, and this one looks like just the previous two that you've seen. A horrible harvest, for lack of a better word, seems to have been occurring here. And by the doctor's impression, it doesn't look like, it looks like tools. Tools were used of some sort.
We are definitely dealing with one, or nods over to Cass, more mentally unstable individuals.
Or
This carnage in these tombs.
Or these things that Cass has seen did this as well.
It could be an extraterrestrial force. We really don't know at this point.
Harvesting our livers and pectoral muscles?
What human wants that?
Yeah.
Other than sociopath. What's the chances we brought a sociopath in space? Anybody?
Cass is currently sitting splay-legged on the floor, leaning back against one of the walls, just staring up at the ceiling, trying to recollect themselves.
We cannot ignore the fact that there is an alien influence here. So whether it was someone who just went crazy, and trust me, I think a lot of people would in this situation, it could be an alien influence drove them crazy. It's more likely. But first, I turn to Cass. I need to see your eyes.
And Chess looks to John again with the eyes thing. What is that?
Does my HUD indicate that this area is breathable air?
It does.
Okay, so just like limp movement. I'm exhausted after fighting with John. Just reach up and pop my helmet off and just look up at him, just tired and sad and angry and a little insane, but more like, I think, traumatized.
The smell is awful.
Of course it is. And I'm just like, oh.
I look at, and what do I get from her? Or them, excuse me.
Of course, as Cass described,
Okay.
they look worn out, scared. Pupils are somewhat dilated from stress and fear and whatnot. You can tell it's affecting them.
But I would imagine, and correct me if I'm wrong, Keeper, it's more trauma than insanity.
Yeah, it's more like the stress and it's more like much more stress than anything else. It's not like a crazy look.
Going to be okay. All right, we are going to get through this. We're going to do it together. We're not going to let anything come between us, yes? We got this far.
The skin of our teeth.
John's gonna put a hand. I don't want to interrupt. Did I?
No, you're not.
John puts a hand on the doc's, Dr. Torrance's shoulder. Not even secrets are gonna keep us from seeing this to the end, Doc.
What are you talking about, John?
He's gonna take his hand off. What are you looking for when you ask her to see, ask them to see their eyes? I don't know. I feel like at any point, any missing information could be crucial to the group, surviving group.
Chess silently writing in the background, waiting for the answer.
Have you ever looked into the eyes of someone that is truly insane, John?
I've seen some crazy clients. I come back from war. I lived my life peacefully when I finally got the chance. Yeah, I've seen that look a couple times. I've also seen the look of a man who hides his secrets. And for some reason, I'm sorry, I still keep getting that vibe from you. I'm not trying.
You don't know what you're talking about, John. I respect your experience. I do. I'm sure it was rough. War and what you've seen. I was good, a good surgeon. I worked a lot as a result. I wasn't always home, but I provided well for my family. My family.
Those are often the hardest jobs. To provide and would also be away. You just want one single embrace in one of your hardest moments. I get that.
Doctor, are you picturing it? You picturing it now in your head?
I am. Yeah.
Give me a roll, Sandy, at disadvantage.
There it is.
Which is rolling 2 10s and taking the worst of the two.
Shit. Sorry, buddy. I did not mean that.
No, it's okay.
I did not know that.
Let's do this. So roll 2 D100s is basically what it is, and take the highest. It's a 100.
Shit, it is a 100.
It's going to be a 5 Sandy loss. And Doctor, you're compelled to tell them what you see, what you remember, what you saw in her eyes.
Let me mark off my sanity, because you said it's 5 sanity? Okay.
5.
Boy, I understand that.
This will hunt down Ralphio Macchio.
As I sit here staring forlornly at my sanity.
Son. My son, he was 4, and his name was Brian. My wife's name was Daisy. She developed something very suddenly. A sickness in her mind. She stopped recognizing our Brian. She kept saying that something had replaced him. That it wasn't really our little boy. She stopped being near him, and she stopped having anything to do with him, would yell at him to go away. It wasn't her son.
You can see her eyes in your memory. You still remember those eyes.
And then I came home from work. I could hear the bathwater running upstairs. And the stairs were soaking wet. And I went up as fast as I could. And I opened the door to the bathroom. And there he was. In the tub. All blue. I came in and I grabbed my baby boy boy's body. I tried to bring him back. And while I was doing that, Daisy came to the door and she said to me with those eyes, as if she was seeing through me, not seeing me. Crazed eyes. I saved us from him. I had to kill him to save us. I screamed at her. I pushed her. I went down to call the police. She looked at me like I was crazy. And she ran out of the house and got in the car. I chased after her. I didn't want to lose her for what she did. I followed her car to the Golden Gate Bridge. She ran out onto that bridge. It was so dark. I didn't know how far down the water was. She said that I didn't understand.
Doctor, there's a memory of her falling, just a glimpse of her falling. As you remember that, somewhere behind the doctor, something falls from a hatch. The ladder is down to the colony level. Something small, dark, something drops behind the doctor.
Like how far behind the doctor?
Maybe about 8-9 feet, and still inside the pod with the rest of you. There's a kind of squelching sound when it hits.
Hell.
What
was that?
I'm gonna scramble
Chess's
to my feet.
Chess's jaw is slack. He can't even talk, but he saw it.
Okay, so
And-
we have flashlights that are of their own.
Yeah, you also have helmet lights as well if you want to be on. The group of you turn to illuminate. There's not a lot of hiding spaces in here. We've got 4 pods and a whole bunch of these weird wardrobes and storage areas. It landed behind one of the farther pods. It comes out. You see a foot, a human foot, as far as you can tell, but it wiggles. It's attached, and this below the foot there seem to be small appendages, almost like a centipede, maybe small, tiny legs, where the Achilles, the tendons would be. Down the back of the calf muscles. It moves on these small, tiny appendages, the foot does. The toes wiggle a little bit. There's pustules, small growths and strange things hanging off of it. And it moves over towards one of the tombs, out of view, around behind the tomb.
The only thing Chess can muster is
It's time to do an experiment, and I grab my scalpel and I run towards it, and I just want to slice it in half.
Other than the doctor, you need to roll sanity.
Say that one more time.
Roll sanity, except for the doctor.
all right.
Oh my God, 7.
Down it.
75. I fail.
So Chess, that's two more sanity.
Okay.
2. How's John doing?
I was unaware and didn't roll. 9.
Wow.
All right.
Damn.
Who knows what it was? John, Cass is, of course, too distracted, and the doctor is too distracted to even really, formulate it. But Chess saw it. Chess saw it in great detail. It's not right.
And he can't form any words. He's just noises coming out.
Yes. What is it?
His pen is frozen. The book is. He's like statuesque.
I'm gonna like grab John's hand because I imagine he's fairly near me and use him to lever myself up to my feet and look in the direction that Chess is looking, because anything that freaks him out probably needs to get addressed.
The toes kind of poke around the side of the tomb of this foot and wiggle a little bit in a very odd, awkward sort of fashion.
So like the noises start to form sentences, and Chess is like, it fell from the ceiling.
Blackwood boss's arm dead. It moved on its own. Like that.
So I'm after this thing.
Cut right up to it. It's right there on the ground. The toes wiggle a little bit. The muscles going to undulate a little. There's sort of feelers and small appendages below. Doctor, what do you do?
I pin it to the ground with one hand, and with the other, take a toe off, the big one.
Right. I'll have you do a medicine roll for this instead of a roll roll.
Ooh.
3.
It's a simple maneuver that the doctors perform many times medically, where he just secures it and then with one quick motion, just dissects the large toe, comes right off. Little bits of blood and ichor, some of a black or greenish fluid kind of oil or splutters out of it.
Do I get a reaction from this thing?
Immediately burned clean though with the scalpel. So there's a small amount of splatter. For the most part, it's a clean cut. It falls down. The toe that you cut off begins to wiggle and writhe on the ground while the foot itself seems to be moving. And those tiny little legs beneath the foot are trying to scurry and try to get away. Like you pinned a large centipede with your hand and you're holding it there, and it's scurrying, the little legs scurry around, the toes move around a little bit. And the other round, the separated one begins to inch along like a tiny little thick slug.
Get over here and help me.
Blowtorch would be good about now.
Yeah, someone kill the thick slug with 2 C's.
He's snapped out of his stupor, and he closes the book and grabs and starts to jog over towards the doctor with, trying to light the torch the entire way. I assume he gets it open.
Just lights it up?
Yeah, he gets the blowtorch going and bends down next to the doctor.
The toe first.
Right. Chess, what would be a good analog for this particular thing? What's your best repair skill?
I have natural world, fight brawl, sysop, spot hidden, self listen, archaeology, but that's not biology. I have biology.
Biologically, you've probably done some experiments like this in the laboratory where you've used Bunsen burners or other tools in the lab. So I'll let you use biology for this.
Yeah.
Let's see what you got.
All right. It's pretty good. 19. So, that's not a critical success, but it's damn close.
It's a quick maneuver. You light this thing on fire. It responds like you would expect something that's made of organic tissue under intense heat. It burns and broils and cooks in a matter of seconds. It wiggles and wiggles and wiggles until it becomes cinders and ember and carbon as you burn it.
Creme brulee it.
On the bottom. Stops moving after you've burned it up.
He looks at Dr. Torrance. I consider that success.
I'd agree. Now, how do we do this one?
Still wiggling, Doctor. It's still trying to get away from you.
Oh, no. Is it?
Yeah.
Wait, I did a different one than he was holding.
Yeah.
No.
Okay. And so he goes over to the one the doctor's on and tries it on that one.
I try and give him room by grabbing the leg part of the foot and just holding it down by that, or however much of an ankle they have.
All right, Doctor, give me a strength roll. I'm going to have it try to oppose you, but it's unfortunately it doesn't have a very high strength. But maybe my GM inspiration will help me if I get.
Well, I want to inspire him.
I'm going to spend GM inspiration to try to get a better roll than what I just got. And
One
my
of your
roll
2
is an 04.
Oh my God.
Which this thing's strength is technically about a 45. It's not that strong. Doctor, what's your strength?
My strength is 50, and I rolled a 70. Where is it?
79.
Well, yeah,
I
79.
will. I would second that
Wiggles and
roll.
wiggles and wiggles as
Yeah.
the flame comes up, and then it gets out of the doctor's grasp and begins to scurry on these tiny little centipede legs towards the darkness of a corner.
I want to say that I try to jump onto it, like using the blowtorch end as like a spike on it to impale it. I want to try seeing it get away.
Let's see, we should have you roll for that. Give me this is more like a brawl or a melee roll. What's the best you got?
I have climb, I've got brawl, and then I've got brawl.
Give me brawl.
So it's the number in my skills plus the percentage, or is it just the numbers in there? I want to get this right.
Did you
If you-
spend points on it in character gen?
What's up?
Character generation, did you spend points on your brawl or just
Yes, I spent points on my brawl, but it also had a percentage next to it.
add those together?
Aha, fuck yeah, okay. All right, so succeeds. It's critical success at 22, but I got a 32. Critical success is a 9. I got a 32.
Gotcha. As it escapes, I'll have you do basically, you burn part of it. You notice you catch part of the back of it on fire. It singes it as it scurries over to behind one of the tombs. You can see it kind of poking out there. Not a lot of hiding spaces in this room. John, you're close to it. What do you want to do?
I would like to also, if I see chests going in for the blowtorch kill, I would also like to replicate that.
Right, John, what's a good skill? You've worked a lot of torches in your time. So I'll let you do some engineering for this roll to burn this thing.
12
All right, not the roll.
out of 70.
It basically, as it escapes from the doctor and Chess burns it, it goes right to where John is, and he just bends over and cooks the thing at close range with a scalding hot plasma of the welding torch. It lights it on fire. It basically reacts as you would expect of a creature that's made out of, looks like some kind of living creature, writhing and moving and twisting and curling up as it burns until it becomes cinder and little bits of flesh and burn carbon and whatnot, and it falls to the ground as a mess. It stops moving.
Well, at least now we know.
All right.
And it burns like the rest of us.
That one does.
Apparently everything has a flashpoint.
If it bleeds, say it with me now.
We can kill it.
It can die.
Watching old movies, eh? Predator.
Really old movies.
I wish this was a Predator. At least it didn't have tentacles in the film.
Yeah, this is more like John Carpenter's The Thing if I had to gauge it. Anybody? All right, forget it. This is a mess, is what this is. I'm glad we could burn it at the very least.
We need to check the rest of the tombs.
It brought. Oh, sorry, go on.
See if anyone's alive.
Yes. Listen roll, if you would.
Listen. Okay. 38, yes.
Okay. I was going to check that if you failed. But Cass, you're the first that hears it. That's a sound of whenever a boot's on a ladder, there's that sound, that distinctive sound that you recognize. This thing came from one of the access panels that leads up to the main, and you hear that sound again from above.
Guys, I think we're about to have company.
Son of a bitch.
It can bring blood to life, but it had to be our blood. It brought a foot to life, but it had to be human. It needs us to live.
And it's using, it harvested us.
And it brought
What
blood
is
to
it-
life.
What is it building with that harvest?
So is it possible it's not just it's taking our blood? We're its parts essentially. Am I correct? Ah, son of a bitch.
Let's move because I do not want to be under.
Yeah, you hear the sound again. The rest of you hear that ladder sound again, but it's retreating as opposed to ascending. You hear it fading a little bit above you.
Do you think that foot fell off of somebody?
I don't know.
Do we follow?
Yeah.
Punches his chest a little. Yeah, I'm gonna. Is there a ladder or anything to follow?
There's a ladder that goes with the actions. Yes. John first.
Are we going? Are we all going together?
Look up. What do you see?
What do I see?
No, I won't have you spot hidden. There's you see what looks like a uniform, 2 legs, maybe a human body ascending up the ladder towards the center of the ship. 2 legs, 2 legs. That's all you can see towards the pants, and you're looking at somebody from below.
Is it
Humanoid. I see some humanoid climbing up. Do I follow?
Is it would I as a crew member have a different uniform than the colonists? And if so, is it a colonist or a crew uniform?
Cass, you look?
Yeah.
All right. Give me your spot hidden roll. Let's see if you can tell at this point.
I tell John to call out to it.
Hard success.
Yes, it's a darker uniform that looks like one of what the 404 you would wear, as opposed to the colonists.
That's a crew uniform. That's like mine, and I like pluck at my own suit.
That could be Mother.
Or Peter.
Let's. Do we call? Do we chase?
I think we.
Am I still under compulsion?
It's up to you, but you still have that feeling, but you can control it.
Okay. Like a part of me wants to call out, but the rest of me is like, there's something wrong.
What's wrong?
Why is someone of the crew awake and down here?
They found us. I don't know, but we need to make sure they don't tell anybody else about us.
Space Madness doesn't have always a perfect.
Let's go. Let's go then.
All right. Ascending in what order?
I'm climbing.
I'm immediately after him.
I'll go after that.
And I will be last.
So as John works his way up, of course, Cass, you're more nimble at this, but you're gonna wait for John. He's on the ladder. He's working his way up there pretty quickly, and he's climbed a lot of ladders in his time as well. So John's not a slouch. Although John, as you're working your way up, those 2 legs disappear into the main body of the ship, closing over the gap and over and out of your view. A few moments later, as you continue climbing, a head appears. It's dark. You can't quite make it out, but you can see a head. You can see hair appears, kind of peering over the side, maybe from the nose up, looking down the passageway.
Looking back at us?
At the 4 of you ascending. A head from the top up watches, looking. On the other side, opposite the head, a hand appears, climbing over and grasping at the edge of the hatch, or the access tunnel as it would be.
Cass, who is this again? Who?
Okay, Rick.
Do I see enough to recognize who this might be?
You see John from.
Are we at the point where 0G would start to take over? Are we high enough into the?
You still got to climb a little bit more to get out of the G forces. When you get about halfway, you can start to jump, and when you're 2/3 of the way, you're free to start making bolder movements.
Okay. I can't see them around you. I can't see well enough to know who it is.
I don't know what they're about to do, but I am not comfortable with this, and I'm still climbing, but I'm going to try and, with the space that is this area we're climbing in the ladder in, I want to try and basically use myself as the shield for whatever happens. I don't know. I feel like I'm getting a bad vibe, and I want to use as much surface area as I can to cover the surface below me, if that makes sense.
Let me know as soon as we hit proper 0G.
And the 4 of you are still in your spacesuits with the helmets on. So there's that. All right, John, as you get closer and closer, the head retreats and goes out of view. The hand, and then something else, maybe 90 degrees away, also moves and gets out of the way as well. And whatever it was up there, it's there. It's moved away. It's clear.
All right. I relay that to the rest of the team. It's odd, but it happened.
Something saw us. Someone saw us.
And now it's waiting for us.
Or is reporting back to someone else.
Weapons at the ready?
guns at the ready.
Bolt gun, maybe? I don't know. What do you got?
Bolt gun. Yeah, I'm down with that.
John, hand me your wrench, please.
I did pick that up.
John lowers it to Cass.
Huh?
Okay, so Cass, what do you do with the wrench?
I'm going to hang on to. I'm going to attach it to my Velcro.
Got it. All right. So John, you want to ready that bolt gun?
I will do that. I'm readying the bolt gun.
All right. John continues to ascend slowly, kind of making sure he's covering the party behind him. John, when you're almost to the top, there's very little gravity behind holding you here. At this point, you could, if you were more able, you could jump or fling yourself in, or just keep going on the ladder. It's up to you.
I'm gonna go in cautiously into the room, with a hand above my head in case there's like a hatch that slams on my head. I want to like be I'm overly cautious about this, so I'm gonna go into the room slowly.
John rises up. And you're now in the belly of the ship, or the center cylinder of the ship. Is where you've returned to. And there's two directions, forward and aft. Which direction do you want to look? Towards the rear of the ship or the front of the ship?
Towards the rear of the ship.
Roll spot hidden for me.
Oh, 76.
Reroll that, yeah?
Yeah.
Inspired.
Yeah.
Thank you, team.
Of course.
Ba-dum-bum. 78.
Amy, you pulled an Amy.
It's all. There's nothing up there anymore. It's whatever it was is gone. You're fine.
What about luck? Can you spend that at all?
Looks safe.
It took a lot of luck.
What would your spot hidden be? What's the number?
My spot hidden is base 45.
Oh,
That'd be like 30 some odd luck. That's a bad idea.
That's a lot of luck.
Cass comes up behind, and the rest of the group follows up pretty closely. There's nothing around you at this point. Nothing in here. You guys do notice there are some little tiny blood globules kind of floating about here in the 0G. Tiny little.
is there a discernible pattern?
How much luck would it be?
They kind of make a fine mist, or no discernible pattern that you notice. Little tiny drop.
How much luck would it be to spend in order to see something?
Over 30.
Like 30, yeah.
Yeah, it's probably bad.
But
What are we saving it for, right?
Kinda.
for not failing luck rolls to find things when we need them.
I'm
But
on board if you want to use it.
If it gives everybody a sixth sense about what's coming, I don't mind biting the crazy bullet if it were.
Oh no. It's your choice, man. It's your luck.
I'm biting the crazy bullet.
Do it.
All right.
I will
Right.
do anything to see something
Ouch.
that's coming at us. What is it? I'm at 60 right now for luck?
Luck, yeah.
Yeah, I'm at 60 for luck right now.
Okay. So it was the difference between your spot hidden, which was, I think, a 35,
45.
45, and what your roll was a 68, right?
78.
Yeah.
78. So the difference between those two numbers is
33.
Someone else.
33 luck. 33 luck.
So you are down to 27.
Go for it.
Okay.
You only luck once.
27.
God damn.
27 luck I'm at.
So John doesn't see anything. When he glances back, there just, for some reason, a reflection, a spark, something catches John's eye, and he just happens to turn his head at the right time. It's a glint of like a little light reflecting off an eyeball. And you see that a face, a head, up, hidden, tucked away in these pipes that run the length and breadth of the center of this ship. On all sides, there's these pipes and conduits. There's a head, eyeballs. There's a blink of one of the eyeballs.
I relay that to the rest of the team. Guys. I see some eyes in the darkness. I know it's luck.
Sorry, I'm trying to keep a straight face.
It ain't luck, not sanity, but still, it's having its toll.
Yeah.
I don't know what to do with that.
I'm gonna look down in that direction because I know that it was a crew uniform that was going up, and that's my best option for finding one of mine.
You want to spot hidden looking towards the rear of the ship?
Yeah.
Go for it.
John, be ready with that gun.
20. Hard success.
Okay, good. Roll your Sandy for me.
Yep.
Ah.
32 on the nose.
Which is a success, or
I met it, so 32 exactly.
good. Cass remembers what Cass they saw earlier to the rear of the ship, and then for some reason there's a connection, and you see the same head that John is pointing at. There's a link. They're linked somehow. It ties in your mind. It's a connection.
The things are connected to the head.
Cass, you also see that somewhere else in these pipes and these conduits, something else moves. Beyond another one, opposite side of where the head would be.
All right. So I'll look at the head and then I'll swivel around to the movement and point that out as well.
All right. The group notices it.
There's something over there.
Are we still trailing in the ladder in the order,
we're all
or
trailing.
okay?
They're floating in 0G in the center of the ship. You guys catch a reflection, a glint, fabric. Maybe a suit, maybe.
Anybody?
What's the ambient light in here? Like, is the flashlight still necessary?
Is there a star?
There are some LEDs kind of running the length of the ship in both directions. But there's a lot of shadows.
If it's one of mine, I need to know.
Flashlights? We have a flashlight each and a HUD light.
That's right.
Correct? Okay, then I'm turning for a flashlight on both the headlight.
So he Chess
for it.
stops him while he sees he motions to reach up for it. He pulls out his pocket flashlight, the only one that he got, and he's like, he cracks it or turns it on, and he sends it tumbling slowly head over heel, kind of strobe light effect towards the glint to potentially illuminate that section and get a better view.
Roll luck for me.
Oh man.
And that is why you don't spend luck.
4, baby.
So it tumbles slowly, pirouetting, the light shining in little circles, little spirals. As it goes down and down, illuminating the sides of the ship, turning. From one of the pipes up the side, something comes out. A hand attached to an arm, attached to an elbow, attached to the upper arm, where there's some tendrils behind it, which reaches out, floating through the air, grabs the flashlight, and then it sort of turns it in its fist as it floats across the other side of the passageway, landing amongst the pipes once again.
Yeah, keep your lights off.
Fair enough.
Did we just see that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he was asking the rest of the team. It's like, that happened, right?
Let's
I think
roll Sandy once more for fun. Just for fun.
This isn't a fun exercise for me.
35. All right.
Wait, everybody?
Everybody.
Oh.
But it wasn't a fumble. It was one away from a fumble, but it was not a fumble.
I'll inspire
72.
that, Bo, if you
Yeah.
can. Yeah.
You can inspire that for Cass. Cass is going to need as much sanity as they can.
71, the one better. Still fail.
66 out of 68.
All right, Doctor, you'll lose just 2 sanity for witnessing this. Cassie, how'd you do?
Do I get a reroll?
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. I didn't hear that.
What are we up to in
God, I
inspiration?
made it a hard success.
If you made it, it's 0. If you failed, it's 2 for seeing that.
Maybe we try and lure it out with a light. I don't know.
So
What-
that's your answer, John. It's, for some reason, it's stitching parts together. It has tendrils, but it still feels the need to stitch parts together to grab.
It's growing nourishment. I really have no full guess, but that's my theory, my hypothesis.
Let's just get it down here and burn it.
I concur.
How it was pretty big, right? Or long, because it was like
It was
an
arm.
elbow to a forearm to an arm to a forearm.
What you saw was what looked like a human arm, with some weird growths and things kind of trailing off the back end of it, with a human hand, float across the room, grab the flashlight, and float back into the pipes again.
Was there enough of it to be able to tell if it was more of a masculine or a feminine hand?
Let's see. It's a good question. Give me a spot hidden. Let me see how well you did.
Sure. 45 on the nose.
It looked like it might be a male. Hard to tell.
Okay. So I'll keep that to myself, but note it down as that might be Peter.
Is there an insight at all?
Psychology.
You say insight?
Yeah.
Yeah. If we can roll intelligence for idea or insight, essentially, if we needed to. Usually, it's when the keeper needs you guys to think of something that no one's grasping. I'll have you roll for that. But what was the question that John was curious about?
I was just seeing if I could insight or figure out if there was anything bothering Cass, and if I could decipher what that was.
Go ahead and roll your intelligence or idea.
Boom. 6.
Yeah.
Wait, 9. Sorry. Little dot is at the bottom.
John's
Right.
got
9. Yeah.
John's got a great sense of this. Kat's concerned about maybe this being a crew member, as in part of her crew. And a lot of the clues you've seen seem like that might be correct.
Something bothering you, Cass?
I mean, yes, that was a arm in a crew member's uniform. So yes, I'd say I'm quite bothered.
Let's.
Fair enough. That's fair enough. He puts
Should
a
we?
hand back.
Should we deal with the body as well? That was over there.
Yeah,
When the doctor says that, you all see it. The eyes, the hair, the face from the top up, kind of peeking out from behind some pipes. Wild eyes, crazy eyes. Cass, you're the first you recognize. You suddenly recognize that looks like that's Peter's face. That's Peter. That's Peter. Give me Sandy roll, Cass.
86.
Cass, this is 2 more. Sandy.
How much?
Cass, you see those eyes in your flashback in your mind to Peter. You can see him again. You feel pain. You feel a pain in your side, a horrible pain. And Peter's there, and he looks angry. He looks furious, and he takes what looks like a wrench, a large wrench, or a crowbar or something. He's holding it, and he has this look in his face like he's pissed off, like you haven't seen him before. And you see him leave the room, and you see Andy's there. And Andy's there looking at the wound, and there's blood on Andy's hands. And Peter storms out of the room. Then you see his face.
Peter?
His face is up there hiding behind the pipes and the conduits, just part of his head. His body wouldn't fit up there. But there's no way his body would fit up there.
And I'm going to like get my feet on something solid and just kick up in that direction, using 0G to float up in that direction.
Cass floats up towards where the head is, right up to where it is, stopping just short, and the head kind of drifts out. There's the neck, and then below the neck, small tendrils, curvatures, growths of some sort, which seem to be holding on to one of the pipes. And it looks at you. The mouth opens and shuts and opens and shuts, but it can't speak. It's not possible, but it's opening, eyes wide, like it's trying, like Peter is there right in front of you. You see his face. He looks horrified. He's trying to say something to you. Give me another Sandy roll, Cass.
What an odd organism.
Oh my God.
2 more Sandy. What you remember, Cass, is you remember seeing Mother with the workbench and the arm Mother holding her own arm down on the workbench. You see her holding her own arm down, and the bottom of her arm, there's these growths, just like the bottom of Peter's head. Mother's holding her own arm against the workbench and saying something, and you hear Andy screaming and Peter screaming as the tendrils writhe from Mother's arm on the workbench.
Is the arm still attached to her, or has it been detached and she's holding it there?
Holding her arm just like the doctor had pinned that foot to the floor, holding it there, her own arm.
Can I make out anything that they're screaming?
There's just screaming, no, stop, no, what do you do? There's a panic, a terror is what you remember, the feelings, the fear. Mother has something in her hand. Mother's holding pruning shears in her other hand as she holds it down, pruning shears. And you're screaming for her to stop. And that's what you remember. Peter's oddly animated head mouths words at you can't possibly understand. And his eyes have a dead expression, though. There's nothing there. And the head bobs over towards you like it's searching for something and moves back behind the pipes again slowly, unless you want to stop it.
I'm so sorry, Peter. And I'm gonna take the wrench and try to bat it and try to hit the thing.
It's easy to smash into it. It busts open the side of the face. It flies back into the pipes. Blood and ooze and vicar, whatever, bubble out and float. Little droplets in every direction in the 0G. The head smashes and tumbles around and tumbles around. One of the tendrils grabs something and holds it there. And it stays there, halfway smashed in, hanging and floating against one of the pipes, against the wall of this. Little bits of ichor and blood and ooze floating about. A few drops land on your visor and on your outfit, and on your clothes and on your glove. One of Peter's eyes, there's one left, looks at you, sort of a dead expression.
I'm gonna take another swing, just like howling in pain and rage and grief as I try to destroy this thing that once was my brother's head.
The rest of you notice Cass wail and mercilessly smash into the remains of this head and bash it into a messy pulp against the side of the ship. From the other side, behind Cass, as she beats on it, one of the arms comes out and starts floating towards Cass's back.
Chess sees that and just, I guess, springs into action, just non-characteristically. Look out! With the blowtorch kind of fired up and at the ready to hit this thing.
Give me a dex roll. We'll make it simple.
All right. 9! Nice. Damn!
He seizes it and it's with one hand, grabs the arm, the fingers grasping it, with the other hand, puts the torch to it and singes it and burns it in a hot plasma fire that quickly incinerates it and burns it. And Chess just holds it until it's too hot to hold, releasing the flaming remains of the arm as it drifts and drifts and drifts and burns towards the rear of the ship. There's other motion around you. A strange foot begins to float and move with small little growths beneath it like centipede legs, and some other large sack-like piece of cloth covered with a uniform.
Do I get the sense that like we're surrounded?
They're moving around in the pipes around you.
Can I low torch a central point that will fire through all the pipes?
Yeah, so how about to make it simple? There, John grabs one and burns one, and it moves around a bit as it catches fire. Another one begins to scurry a little bit along the pipes. The doctor or Chess can lights it on fire as well. It doesn't take too long for you guys to find these different little pieces that are hiding about, pieces of one person's body, the chest, the legs, the arms, and the head of a former crew member. And each one of them is disposed of, burned, or smashed into bits until there's no more motion.
We can't do that to everything that's been taken down there. We need a better solution than this.
Right
Fine.
now, this is all we got.
I'm listening to better solutions, though. Anybody?
Look over at Cass. How are you doing, Cass? You there?
So Cass is probably about 20 feet above the rest of them, as they would think of gravity, and just sort of hanging there, breathing hard, holding onto the wrench with both hands. And you can hear them breathing in the comms, but not responding. And finally, after a second, they're like, "I'm here."
I assume that was your friend.
That was Peter.
I'm sorry.
Do a calm only to Chess and say, you can mark him off your list.
And then there was one.
And
You want to roll spot hidden for me one more time or not?
my 28 sanity says no, but my deep and abiding curiosity says yes.
Do it.
I don't know if I should be happy that I just got a critical success.
Nice.
That's a not 3.
That's a good roll. It's a great roll.
Fantastic roll. How insane did I just go?
Roll sanity for me.
Yeah.
Ought 1, sir.
What?
That's amazing.
Oh.
So this is what Cass was expecting and looking for and wanting to see. So Cass, you can actually add 1 point of sanity.
Ooh.
Hey, all right.
You've achieved one of your objectives. As you just look down towards the rear of the ship again, looking towards the rear where the engines are. There's a doorway that leads to the engine where the nuclear facility is and the engine and whatnot. The doorway opened. You Cass spotted it immediately, and then as the doorway opens, you see Mother's face looking back at you with a look of horror, like in surprise. And the door, she quickly and quietly just closes the door again to that back nuclear compartment, and she's out of your view.
But she looked like she was whole, except for the missing arm.
You couldn't tell. You saw her face. It looked like her face as she's looking, about to open that door.
But there was actual expression, not like what was on Peter's face.
Expression, a look of surprise is what you picked up. And eye to eye. You saw her eyes and Mother saw your eyes. And Mother closed that door.
Guys, my boss is in the nuclear engine room. I'm not entirely sure if it's all of her, but she saw me and she recognized me as I recognized her, and that didn't happen when Peter looked at me.
That's good news, right?
That's where we get our answers.
Not necessarily. She looked horrified, surprised.
She's getting away.
It just means that she's sane. We should go get her.
Let's go.
Torches at the ready. Yes.
And I'll
turned it off.
Yeah.
and I'll wait for them to catch up before I go kicking further down.
You work your way down, either jumping or climbing or pulling yourself down in 0G, down towards the aft of the ship. There's a single door that leads to where the nuclear engine is. It's a nuclear power that powers the whole ship. And behind that would be where the engines are, but there's not much access there. The nuclear power room is where this door leads to. There's warnings and labels there about warning about radiation and whatnot, signs and such, warning you not to open this door while it's operational. And there's also an indicator by the door, kind of giving a gauge of how much radiation is being kicked up. Hard to tell from the indicator what the numbers really would mean, but it's a red bar. There's about 6 or 7 bars, and it's about, of the 7 bars, it's right about number 6 as far as the indicator of how much radiation is being kicked out from that chamber there. Of course, the doctor knows and others know a certain amount of radiation won't kill you. It might give you cancer. Prolonged exposure is a bad thing. You might die.
These suits?
No. And these suits are actually, you would know, are designed to handle the space radiation to a certain degree, as much as it can protect you from, with a thin layer of lead and other composite materials. So any kind of spacewalk for a couple hours should keep you relatively safe from solar radiation and whatnot.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but space gamma radiation is more intense than Chernobyl-esque fallout if you're exposed to it.
I mean, this is more intense and this is more concentrated, I think, more into like one small space than the radiation of space.
Yeah.
That's a sentence.
It depends on exposure levels and what the situation is. It's kind of complicated.
Bats, can we shut that engine off? I mean, we're already not going where we want to go.
The whole ship is powered by nuclear power.
Can I stop the nuclear fusion?
You can stop it, but you're going to need to restart it at some point.
But I could shut the engine off.
There's a way to disengage the nuclear engine and later restart it safely with batteries and whatnot. Your specialty, that was Mother's specialty, if you recall. She was the one that had all the engines and the nuclear power. This was her thing.
Should have been paying attention.
I did pay attention. Yeah, I can shut the engine off. But if she's in there and she's sane and she's done this on purpose, this is her specialty. Life support systems are mine. Propulsion systems are hers. So anything that I do, she can undo.
Well, it doesn't matter what I was just saying to save us, but you'll just have to be quick about it.
We have some time. How much time do I think we would have with the spacesuits? Do we have like 20 minutes before we start like taking on a lethal dose, or?
I think you'd have to determine the dosage and then have some computer or something tell you based on that dosage what it would be. You can't tell right now. You don't even know what the data is.
I pick up my tricorder.
You've been playing so much Star Trek.
Yeah, I have.
Question.
And look at them. Huh?
Anything you can do, they can do, correct?
Better.
Well, can we figure out something you can't do? So much so that they can't do it either.
With the ship systems, maybe not. She has been doing this kind of work since twice. She has been doing this for longer than I've been alive, twice over.
Did she walk in there without shielding?
You didn't see any helmet when you saw her face.
I saw her head. She didn't have a helmet on.
Oh,
There
jeez.
is no such thing as a perfect system. There has to be a weakness to them. I'm saying.
Do we go in or not?
I think we have.
Yes.
So be it.
It has to happen.
And I'll start typing in the code.
He checks the valves on his suit.
It's not valid.
The code is not valid.
Doesn't work. Won't open.
Okay.
Swear at it in like 3 separate languages.
I'm going to try here.
All right. And
How many languages do you know? Sorry.
I don't know other languages, but I know a lot of swear words in other languages.
So Chess is now full kind of like done, and he's starting to motion towards the blowtorch and the
Hold on.
the padding the punch pad.
Hold on. I know electronics. Help me get the panel off. Maybe I can wire it to force it to open without the access code. She changed the code on me.
All right.
Hot wiring. I like it.
Quick process to pop that panel. You've done it before. What's your electronics repair?
My electronics repair is 60.
Oh, good. Go for it.
And that is a 44.
A quick change of wires, changing the power circuits, it pops right open.
And you lose 2 sanity.
Probably. Everything I fucking do in this fucking game makes me lose fucking sanity.
What you've got in this room, in the center of this room, is basically where there's a shielded power array and some panels and whatnot, the pipes and other things around the sides and other gadgets and whatnot. But that's not what draws your attention. That's not the first thing you guys see. And in the space in this room, there's something floating in the midst of this room, right next to the reactor. It's a combo, a conglomeration, a assortment of tissue and bone and mass, some hair and items in a body shape with limbs, 6 limbs, kind of arcing up around it like it's in a fetal position, kind of curled up in a ball. 6 limbs, and then the back, maybe 2 more legs. 8 total limbs, a weird shape and form. The entire mass of this is maybe about 12 feet in length, but it's kind of curled up and floating in the 0G of this room, in the midst of the room. It's you see bones exposed, you see nerve, tissue, hair, muscles hanging on bone as it sits there floating in the midst of the room. The room itself, blood and viscous and small bits of material is just floating haphazardly about in 0G, just floating and littering the air, the surroundings, and stick the walls. And all sides are covered in splatter and splotches of unused material. Mother nearby, this creation that apparently she has made, holding in her hand a pair of pruning shears, bloody pruning shears. Mother floats, and then you see, turning to look at you, releases the pruning shears from her one good arm. The other is missing. Mother does not appear to be burned or whatnot, but who knows with radiation damage. But she is wearing the crew outfit. No helmet, no spacesuit, no nothing, with blood stains all over the outfit, the chest, the one good arm, the legs, the face has splotches on it. Mother's hair, short, kind of graying hair, it kind of floats about her head, almost like Medusa's snakes floating in the 0G as she looks at the 4 of you, strangely curious who you are, but she knows Cass. And she has a worried expression on her face, holding her one good hand up. She's released the pruning shears, her one hand up in a stop motion, like stop, and looks at the 4 of you. Behind her, whatever this thing is, moves a little, shakes and vibrates, the legs quiver slightly. The head, maybe there's eyes, you can't see where they are. It shifts slightly. Mother has the hand up, stop. The mother tries to speak, and she looks over at the 4 of you, and she kind of motions back towards it, and she says, it knows what is there. It was there. We're all in danger. It can help us. It will stop us. I just need a little more time. I just need a few more pieces. It's almost complete. Can't you see? Just look at it. Let me finish, please. I'll show you. It will show you. It will show us all. Please, just let me finish.
I'm looking at her eyes. What do I see? Does she look insane?
Give me a. Give a psychology.
Good thing I put points into that.
I'd say you're about done, old girl.
33.
Nice.
And my psychology is base, so whatever that is.
I think you
10.
said psychology, right?
Huh?
Psychology.
Psychology, I think. Didn't you or not?
I thought you put points in psychology.
Mm-mm.
Oh, that's right. You said it wasn't really his thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. You don't know exactly, but there's a familiar look in her eyes that you remember from Daisy. That you've seen that look before.
She's not right.
No,
She's not right.
Clearly.
Please let me stop. I mean, don't stop. Please let me finish. Please let me finish. It's almost complete. It's almost done.
What other components do you need, old girl?
She points with her one good arm, which will be her right arm. It says, here, it's a little bit more for the head. Maybe the body's not finished. I think one of the legs is not right. It needs more for the head, I think. Maybe the arms. There's too many, but this is what it needs. 6 arms. It needs 6 arms. It's almost complete. I've been working so hard to fix this, to finish this.
Who is Who are you doing this on behalf of?
It will tell us about the planet. It's been there.
And Chess looks around and goes, "It?"
I don't know. I don't know. There's a few. They're in there. I don't know. I'm so confused. It doesn't make sense. They're not like us.
Did you do that to the habitation tombs down there, old girl?
I needed the parts.
Oh.
They didn't feel anything. They didn't feel. They were asleep. It was painless.
You killed the people we were supposed to help.
It's going to tell us we can't go. The planet. We can't.
You killed Peter. You killed Andy.
It wasn't me.
That thing that you are protecting did.
Cass, I'm sorry. Cass, I'm trying.
I'm going to get my feet on something solid and just launch myself there.
I go to grab her ankle if I can, because I want to.
What I want to do then for this is I want Cass to roll 0G, and then we're going to have Chess essentially roll either athletics or brawl, which is better for you.
All right. They're both
in the system.
Brawl is pretty good. Do I roll? Do you announce your roll?
Tell me what you guys get.
I got a 17, which is a critical success for my 0G.
All right. Well, 70 is a success, but I got a 67, so it's not a critical success.
So Chess reaches out and just touches the outside of Cass's suit. And just tries to grasp. Cass is already away, bouncing with all of their strength and might and skill. Cass barrels into Mother, hits Mother square in the chest, pushing Mother through the room, bouncing up against the side of this thing that starts to spin and wobble. Cass and Mother go flying towards the back, bouncing off the reactor chamber. Cass, do you want to grab onto the housing of the reactor or let go or what?
I'm focused on Mom, and I have the wrench in my hand, and I'm just going to fucking town.
So Cass starts beating. Give me a brawl roll.
Well, while they're doing that, I turn to them and I say, "You want to burn that thing while I help Cass?"
I don't want to get near that thing.
I don't mind burning it at all. Also, there's an assault rifle somewhere here on this ship, and we've completely forgotten that. Anyway, and I will attempt to burn.
Did we have flamethrowers as he's going?
Before he goes, I want to grab the gun from him, the nail gun.
The rivet gun?
Yeah. The
rivet gun.
Give me your brawl count.
I got an 18 out of 25, which is a success. Which is a success. Sorry, I'm all...
How about this? Do you want to spend any luck on that to make it a hard success?
Yes, I do. I will spend 5 luck on that to make it a success. Or critical.
A hard success. I'm going to have your damage from this wrench be a D6. Add your damage modifier to that.
Which is a D4, because I am a strong little thing.
That's max damage.
Say again?
So it's a hard success. We'll make that max damage of 6 + 4 for 10. Unfortunately, Mother's state is not such that she is with her full hit points at this point in the story, and Cass just lays down a furious beating, smashing Mother's skull, bashing Mother's face wide open with the skull in a fit of anger and rage, which breaks her head open, essentially.
There go our answers.
Brain floating out, and Mother's look of surprise and sadness as you beat her head open.
There were no answers there, Chess.
The thing, whatever you want to call it, was bumped in the process and started spinning a little bit in air and spinning slowly in air. Its legs quiver a bit. And the head portion of it, which shaped maybe like a horse, but without eyes, and a mouth which has got human teeth in it, and some missing ears and a lot of strange misplaced hair, starts to stir and move around a bit as it floats there and slowly spins in midair, drifting towards one of the walls of this chamber.
I feel like John went away and Torrance went to somewhere. I feel like Chess is still stationary surveying the room.
Let's go ahead and do this in traditional Call of Cthulhu fashion, where we do, instead of rolling initiatives, what we do is we just take our dexterities and we kind of say the fastest one with the most dex goes first. Cass has a ton of dexterity, like 80, right?
80.
Cass did their thing. What's the dexterity for the other three of you?
I have 60.
50.
And
Also 50.
all right, Doctor, you're first. What's your action if you want to take one?
I've got this bolt gun. How close is Cass to this thing?
Cass is more of the center back of the room where the reactor is. This thing has been floating, drifting to the side. So Cass is out of the line of fire.
Okay. Goodness. So I'm going to look at the guys and I'm going to go, I guess we take it out. And I jump so where I can get a certain, maybe about 15 feet away from it, kind of going like this, jump from one side of the room to the other. And I'm going to have my gun. And I just want to fire at this thing.
Excellent. So, Doctor, I'll have you roll. Give me a firearms skill if you have one. What do you have?
I don't have firearms still.
What's the closest you got?
You'd have it. You'd have the base of 20 for a handgun.
Yeah, firearms would be handgun 20%.
Okay. Just give me a firearms roll for this particular maneuver. Let's see what you got.
47.
Okay. Probably too much to use luck on unless you really wanted to, or you could inspire it.
I mean, that would be 27 luck to get a regular success.
I'll go ahead and do it.
Excellent. Spending the luck, you are successful. I'll have you roll. Give me a D8 damage. Actually, let's make D8 plus 2 for funds.
5, 6, 7 damage.
All right, so 7 damage. A couple of the bolts pierce into the fleshy undercarriage of the center mass of this thing. It quivers and moves and drifts and finally lands next to the wall. Now, John and Chess, you guys are both going at the same time. I'll also have John go first this turn, and we'll rotate if we need to. John, what do you want to do?
I would like to help Cass.
Cass is across the room near the reactor. Anything else you want to drift over to where they are?
Yeah, I would like to drive over towards Cass and try and protect them as best I can and also help them in their process.
Good. So John spends a turn basically covering the room, landing next to Cass and kind of being there to protect Cass in case something goes wrong. Chess, what do you want to do?
What?
He'll be fine. The doc's good.
Can I ready an action?
Yeah.
Okay.
And what do you want to do?
So he's still kind of like maneuvering slowly away from the glob, but keeping it in his peripheral vision, surveying the room. If something comes near him that is not a member, he's gonna burn it. But I want to say he's looking for an ejection thing, or like to evacuate this chamber or something.
All right, so he'll spend the turn looking around to see if there's anything he can do as far as ejecting. And I'll tell you, at the end of your turn, you do recognize there's an airlock door, kind of for construction purposes or maintenance or whatnot over there on the side. It's off the opposite side, but you do see an airlock door if you want to use that. At the top of the ground, moving at the top, it moves before Cass. Its feet plant on the side. It begins to rear up. And its eyeless head seems to be looking or shifting or moving. The arms move and fan out around it, and it starts to kind of climb along the wall, heading in the direction of the doctor. It's now Cass's turn as it approaches, working its way along the wall, moving towards the doctor's position. Cass.
So mom has been neutralized essentially.
You smashed mom's head open. Yeah.
I'm going to turn and look and just without a word, launch myself after it, wrench in hand.
What's your goal for this maneuver?
It's built out of pieces and it's like a 6-legged creature thing.
Got 2 large legs, 6 limbs, and a strangely horse-shapen head with no eyes.
I want to try to at least slow it down before it gets to the doctor.
You're trying to bash it with that.
Yeah.
All right. Give me
with my wrench.
I'm going to have you for this zero G combat maneuver. Go ahead and roll your 0G Again, dive at it.
Okay. 22, which is a hard success.
Okay. Where do you want to hit it?
I want to try to hit it about where like the cervical area is for a human. I want to try to see if I can get its eyeless, gross ass head to detach. If I can break it down to smaller pieces, it'll be easier for them to set on fire.
So bashing it in the back of the neck, if it were a human analog. Go ahead, because the hard success, you get max damage on this. I believe we're doing D8, right? Plus your damage bonus, right?
If it was if it's still the wrench, we did a D6 plus 7 plus 4.
D6 plus 4, which
Okay.
is 2. All right. So Cass bashes it in the back of the neck. And Cass, you feel it give. There's a definite give when you smash into the back of it. It's still whole, but it's something's fractured. Something back there did not survive that horrible impact. Cass, do you want to stay there or bounce away before it moves?
Yeah, I'm going. How big is this room?
Let's say maybe about 20 meters.
Okay. Do I reasonably feel like I can get away and then bounce back at it and like act kind of like a wolf, I guess, going after a caribou, like come in and tear at it and then get back out?
You'll bounce somewhere nearby for a side wall. So you bounce over towards one of the walls. John, what do you want to do?
Do I have the blowtorch?
I think you still have a blowtorch, yeah.
I would like to blowtorch.
You want to dive towards it? It's out of range for your torch. You can get close.
How close? I mean, it's a fine range. It's not. I feel like, is it a safe range?
If you get close to it, who knows?
Safe.
Okay. I'm going in. I'm gonna stay as far as I can and blowtorch it.
Okay. So you don't have a 0G skill, but I'll let you use your athletics, and we'll see how it works.
What would be the athletics analog in this? Would that be strength or dex? Because there's no athletics on the sheet.
Okay. Give me a dex roll, but I'm going to need you to make a hard success to be successful. Which is straight dex.
34, but the hard success is 12.
Do you want to spend any more luck?
Wait, a hard success for your dex is 12?
It wouldn't be. That's
Dex is base 50, half 25, and then
Hard
made it.
would be 25, not 12. 12 is critical.
Get to 25, you're good. So what'd you roll?
all right, then neat. Then yeah, no, I still rolled a 34.
Oh,
If you rolled a 34, you'd only have to spend 9 luck in order to make it a hard success. Is where my brain is going with that.
I will do it.
Okay, 9 luck. So John charges, jumping, spinning, turning, twisting, kind of out of control. Never really done this kind of maneuver before, but turns and lands at just the right moment, coming up to which part of its body do you want to try to burn?
Can I detect the core of it, like its central brain? If it is the head of it, then I will go to the head. But if it's anything else,
As John flies by the head, he lights the torch up and does a flyby burning of the torch.
I love this mental image.
You need a
I'm soap, and I just torch it up.
2d6 for the plasma torch as you fly by the head.
Oh, 2d6.
2d6.
Sweet. 9 damage. Total.
Nice.
Okay. John's action lights the whole head on fire, and it becomes a burning, melting mass that rises and spins and kind of curls up upon itself, letting loose from the wall and floating towards the middle. Now the doctor fires a few more shots into it. If anyone else wants to do something dramatic, you guys are able to burn it and move in, descend upon it, and light its remains on fire. But other than quivering, it is disposed of.
oh, sweet.
Back here.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
If we're going for something dramatic, when I see that it's like immobilized, I would yell, if we get out of here, we can purge the airlock.
As Chess is like in mid-flight towards the airlock.
Just lands beside the airlock door.
Yeah.
If we get out, none of us will risk getting dragged out ourselves.
The airlock is two-sided, right? There's a chamber that we can push it in, and then
Is that the case in this one?
It's not like a door to the outside, right?
Let's
Right.
just give me a luck roll, Chess. Let's just see how it looks.
All right.
Because if it's two-sided, cool. We'll like shove it in there and get it out.
My luck is 60. I rolled a 52.
Yeah, it
Nice.
turns out there's a secondary door,
Yeah.
and so it's a two-sided airlock. You shove the remains of this thing in there, close it, eject it off into outer space. It drifts and floats out of your view on the ship. By way of moving the story, what's the next thing you guys would want to do at this point?
Is that it?
I would suggest that we get these radiation levels back down somehow.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, the cancer. Okay.
Yeah. I'm going to focus on fixing the engine and fixing all of that.
It turns out it's not that difficult for Cass to do. It needs to be reset. There's a couple of reset buttons Cass does. The machinery changes where the rods are, whatnot, fixes the reaction, stabilizes the whole thing, and repairs itself with a little bit of Cass's ingenuity. So the reactor is secure. That warning light is fixed. That problem is solved. You return to the bridge.
Yeah. I would want to see, before we do that, the other airlock where we put the bag of blood. I want to see if that's still active.
When you look at it closely, it moves still inside the bag.
We are not safe, and this is not over.
It has not escaped. I think it is contained.
We get rid of it. What it did to Mom, it can do to anyone else. It could do to any of you. It could do to me.
We'll have to check the ship for any other human remains that could come in contact with this, and there are a lot of them. Do we go about burning all the bodies?
I say we lock down those portions of the ship and we get this thing back on course.
So you do that. That's an excellent move. So you guys do secure everything. Return to the bridge, turn the navigation system back on. It doesn't take the AI too long to figure out, using the navigation system and its telemetry and studying the stars, it figures out where it was, where it is now, replots a course change. And looking at the screen, you notice you are inside the Jalise system. You are inside the system. And then after the cameras and the outside of telescopes study everything, you've passed a couple of the outer planets. You're nearing the sun. The ship, realizing this, begins immediately to turn itself. As you sit in the bridge, you feel the ship slowly drift, do a 180. And then a warning light goes off, giving you very little time before it fires the engines at full blast. It absolutely roars everything it has in the engines, pulling you back and pushing you against the back of the ship. You secure yourself, lock in. It's a terrible amount of G's as the ship begins to brake suddenly and forcefully after being out of course correction for several days. And after a period of endless G's, it finally stops, releasing you, returning to a zero G environment once more. Now you're reversed. Your engines are facing the sun. Your engines are facing the planet. The view is of the engines, but you're able to check the telemetry, check the computers. It checks on its course, does some course corrections, does some shifting or whatnot, updates itself. And on the screen, it shows an image of the planet. There's Jalise on the screen. You're within range. It begins the process. The computer's starting to do the countdown. It's getting ready to, essentially what it does is going to eject all the different cargo pods. Every single one of the colony pods, one at a time. And every one has individual parachutes and landing paraphernalia to land on the planet. Everything is going to be jettisoned slowly and at a proportional to one landing site. Everything the ship can get rid of is the process.
Can we communicate with people already on the ground? Oh, there's no one else. We're the ones on the thing. Okay. Can we see if there are any spread or corruption to any of the pods before they go?
Many of them are marked corrupt. And if you want to, you can manually tell the ship not to release those.
I say we manually, we figure out which ones are not food supplies, and then we jettison the rest into the sun.
Okay, so everything that's being jettisoned is on a pre-programmed course to be landed on the planet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
will remain in space.
Yeah, I think that we all the pods that are corrupt, we leave on the ship.
Okay.
So as you're figuring that and doing those things, everyone give me a spot hidden roll.
Oh, jeez.
Roll the best.
Nice. Yeah, that is my hard success 25. I got a 20. I got a 30.
Okay, who's successful?
Let's see.
Do.
Right.
Spot hidden is 75, and I rolled a 23. So that's a hard success.
All right, so the doctor, you're the one that notices this. On the screen where it shows Jalise C, it shows 2 planets on the screen. It just shows 2 planets.
Guys, that's 2 planets. I thought there was only the 1 planet.
So did I.
There are few planets in this system, but are they both coming up Jalise C?
There's where there's an orbit labeled Jalise C. And within that orbit, they're side by side, 2 planets, one close to the sun, one further away, and a little parallel track on your computer display screen.
Did they completely miss another orbit?
Dev.
Or
Can I run surface scans to see if this is a planet in the Goldilocks zone?
So
It would.
the diagram
You'd have to.
large.
Not necessarily, because there are 2 planets circling each other. They might have seen the orbit and thought that was 1 planet. That was right.
They're both within that zone as far as
Yeah, it's
I'm
habitable areas.
Maybe with a close planet, the surface might be fucked now. Either gravity or temperature, given the close orbit of that other thing. Can we check the conditions on the ground? If they got that wrong, they might have gotten something else wrong.
So which one do you want to study of the 2 bodies?
One closest to the sun, I think.
Why?
Well, because we have to see, kind of what the heat is like over there, what the orbit is like. Is it just one side is always going to be towards the sun? We need to see it, what that orbit is like.
I have a much simpler reason. Whatever it was that reprogrammed our system was aiming us at the sun. I want to know what's on.
Was it?
What's up? Yeah, because it had to do a hard 180 away from the sun in order to get us to the planet.
oh my god.
So if there's something
I
involved,
thought it was doing that to like slow our trajectory.
we were, as far as I can tell, and maybe I read it wrong, but I heard that we had to do a 180 away from the sun and then power away.
Well, I don't want to give you the wrong impression, but just to slow the ship down, the only way to do that is to turn it around and use the ship's own engines to decelerate forcefully. So that's the process the ship used, and it had to do a little more forceful than it wanted to.
But we were aimed basically at the sun.
You're aimed at this location in general.
Well,
I think so. Who knows? The ship made some course corrections. It fixed it. It adjusted things.
okay.
Previous course. You can check the logs later, but it won't matter at this point. The question I have though is, which of the 2 planets do you want to focus on?
I would specifically make the Chess and Warren would make the argument that we should do the one furthest away, because if it's too close to the sun, nothing will survive on it. But if it's further away from the sun, even if it's colder, there might be some subdermal activity.
Fair enough.
So the ship's got a little telemetry and telescopes and things it uses for navigation and whatnot. You program it in, and the little mirrors and reflectors on your antenna readjust themselves, orient to the rear, which is now the front of the ship now. And it takes a little bit of time to focus and get around the jet plumes and whatnot. It studies the closer of the 2 planets, the one further away from the sun, closer to you. And the screen is there's an image there. It's behind it is the red sun. So you're looking at, there's a red sun and there's these 2 planets in front of it. The view of the sun is making it hard to see, but their scanners is only picking up one planetary body. It's not picking up, it's having a hard time focusing on which one you want to focus on. It's picking up one, but your eyes are seeing that there's 2.
And we can't tell which one, the closer the further.
As you focus a bit and do some math on it and have it just change the angle slightly to where it should be. The planetary body is the one closer to the sun. The one in front, you're having a hard time focusing and picking up what that is. You can't.
That's no moon, is what you're saying.
It takes a bit more fiddling, and you're able to get some of the cameras going. And as the ship gets closer and closer and closer to your destination, and it's ready to release the pods, the countdown begins, and you kind of suspend it.
Yeah, I'm going to reach over and like immediately hit suspend on that, because I'm like, I am not launching people down there until we know.
Something happens with the sun and the moon and the angles where you finally get an unobstructed view of that second body, the one that's closer than the other. And you zoom in, and it enhances.
Enhance.
It gets closer and focuses and focuses and focuses. What you see in orbit of the planet is a large spherical object of proportions of planetary size, covered in these nodules and pustules and divots and small little ringlets and small tendrils and crevices, circular maws, strange looking eyes, and little amoeba type tendrils in different directions, kind of undulating. And all the little tendrils are undulating towards the planet's surface beneath it, as this massive body made up of who knows what. It looks like a conglomeration of flesh in the planetary size is looking down and sending small, tiny, from your view, objects down towards the planet.
It's a Leviathan.
Roll sanity.
Everybody?
Nice. Okay. 31. Ooh.
Right. If you're
75.
successful, you lose D10 sanity.
All right,
If you're successful, D10.
Ooh.
If you're unsuccessful, it's D20.
8.
Damn, can I have a reroll here, guys?
Yes.
And we're going to wrap things up at this moment in time as Cthulhu, as it's known amongst the Cthulhu mythos, a giant mammoth birthing.
Repeat that.
Cthulhu of Cthulhu mythos, which brings birth to the great old ones, has found this planet and is slowly dropping spores down upon it as your colony ship arrives and your computer begins the process of dropping the colony pods to Jalise C, which is currently being infested by this massive planetary monstrosity. And that's where we close our scene.
Sweet. All stop.
No, I hit the button to stop the process.
Oh my god.
So we'll leave their unanswered questions. Perhaps our four colonists were able to stop the process. Perhaps they were able to go back into cryosleep. Perhaps they were not. And perhaps they did not heed the warning of the alien vessel that had crashed into them so many days before, fleeing from its planet as this massive beast had arrived.
We never went back to revisit that thing.
So that wraps up our story this evening.
That got me.
I want to say that Chess, if he can, like his entire journal is sort of a message in a bottle, but if he can focus a signal back to people while he still can, that's his priority.
A warning.
Images and messages, anything that's capable of being transmitted.
John is screaming at a window as it zooms out away from the window. There's no volume.
Because in space, no one can hear you scream.
So,
Sorry, I love it.
We have run slightly late, so this is a wrap for us this evening. Thank you all for sticking with us and staying with the story here. We are returning next week with a regular episode of the Chaos Agents, right back into the action where they left off in that temple fight with Thomas, the other Thomas. He'll return to the story again on Tuesday. So my name is also Thomas. I've been the keeper for this Call of Cthulhu adventure with these four fine players. We thank you all for joining us. for sticking with us. And we'll see you around. See you next time, everybody.
Later.
Mhm.